Hey guys, good morning. Show before the show, May 17th, getting ready to do our daily podcast, which we do Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Just looking through everything right now. I'm Vic Faust. I'm in studio. Lizzie Sparks runs a chat line alongside Tabitha Hassel, Eric Johnson en route. Just going over some stuff here. We just say good morning as we always do. Chance to talk in with you before we get going. If there's anything on your mind, we talk about it as well. Appreciate you guys jumping in today.
Good morning, everybody.
Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well today.
There's just so much stuff going on.
Yeah, there is. We're packed as always. I mean, Wednesdays is an interview day. It's our Weed Wednesday, of course, as always. Just like the sound of that. Our Weed Wednesday and real estate. Anyway, there always is. Lots of stuff always going on. Unfortunately, a lot of it sounds the same. We're going to get started on time a little bit early this morning. We'll jump in, maybe Joe at about 7:59, just because we have Brad Young from Harris, Dowell, Fisher and Young attorney, and he's fantastic. So he's going to sit down. There's so much drama going on in St. Louis City, as always. Always drama in the gateway to the West. We'll talk about what's heading there. National implications as well. As we always say, good morning to you, Angie. Good morning, Jill. Hope all's well in your world. Hi, Paul. Hi, Jerry. And of course, I already said hi, Lizzie. Tabitha in studio now as we're getting set. I mean, there were so many dang headlines all over the place. We'll talk about it. Little Elon, man, the Elon does not know how. Good morning, Cindy. Hi, Jerry. Crisp, you too. Oh, I love Jerry. He watches us on the 55-inch, Lizzie.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, he always lets us know about that. Don't tell Tabitha. That may freak Tabitha out.
Nothing freaks me out other than Eric Johnson, who's not here yet this morning.
Please don't say that. Don't start. You invite stuff.
After yesterday, when I heard out the show is so much easier without me, I mean, I figured I'd make the most of my first hour here.
Yeah.
Because we know Eric will be an hour late. So.
So it is a Tuesday, May 17th. 7:58 is our time. You know what? We're starting to get everybody in here right now. So
love it.
Gosh, there's something else just went on. My gosh, there's like 30 different headlines that we could do hours of show and network on. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and get the show started because we got a lot to get to. We'll explain it here in just a second. All right, Pro Joe, let's get it started, my friend. Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust. Tabitha Hassel alongside Lizzie Sparks in studio. Eric Johnson on the way and Pro Joe running the boards. Coming up in about 5 minutes, we're going to talk with Brad Young of Harris, Dowell, Fisher and Young, our Cancel This attorney when it comes to issues. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of stuff going on in St. Louis City right now that can affect the whole country. Obviously, when it comes to precedent being set, how do you do things when you get a circuit attorney to actually quit her job and quit her job 2 weeks early? That's twists and turns all around. We'll get into that. 8:30-ish. We got the Hell Big Strix, as I call them, in studio. Where do you think the hottest prices are in the country right now? Where they're rising the fastest, locally and across the country?
Yes.
Might shock you. One of the topics he'll talk about at 9:30. It's part of our Weed Wednesday. Greenlight Dispensary, the largest dispensary in the state, the cheapest products and the best products. They're able to do it because they are so big with all the connections. We're going to talk with Charlie Unger. We'll break down what's happening inside their Chippewa store. It's all coming up. Plus, Elon Musk going after George Soros, going after people who work at home. What's the world coming to? Plus, the border is still a nightmare. But first, take a look at our partners, our sponsors who make this happen. And thank you to all of you who have donated since we started this. Every dollar that we get helps keep us going and showing up here and doing what we're doing. Back after about 2.5 minutes.
And now it's here, the unveiling of the latest Carroll House lifestyle collections. I'm Brooke with my sister Amy, inviting you to see 3 football fields of the latest styles.
Our new lifestyle collections are premium quality furniture made exclusively for us and available only at Carroll House.
The attention to detail is unmatched, and so is the value, nearly half the price of a typical gallery store.
Plus, get free financing, delivery, and in-home design. Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Marco, wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Hey guys, welcome back to the cancelthisshow.com, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Of course, Tab of the Hassle alongside Lizzie Sparks, Eric Johnson on the way, and we've got Projo in studio to get things going this morning. We already talked about it coming up, 8:30. We've got the Hell Big Strix in. At 9:30, we've got our Weed Wednesday segment with Greenlight Dispensary. We've got all kinds of things in between, veterans being pushed aside from illegal aliens who are coming into this country. Yeah, you get out, we're going to do this. And aliens, illegal aliens being brought into this country under the cover of dark and trying to be hidden from media cameras. We'll show you some of that video.
Happening right here in Missouri.
I didn't know about the Missouri side of it. I'm glad. We have video of it in Missouri?
I've not seen video, but you can see the buses yourself.
Yeah, no, I've heard about the buses coming.
Yeah.
But we've got video.
I'm sure somebody has video, but they're definitely here.
Love to see that as well. A Trump-backed African-American attorney general in Kentucky now is going to be the Republican primary candidate. Or excuse me, he won the primary last night. And against a DeSantis-backed candidate and somebody who used to work for Trump. The power of Trump is alive and well. And this Daniel Cameron, this young African-American rising star, legitimately has a shot to win the governorship in the state of Kentucky.
Things are changing. Things are changing.
And of course, we have St. Louis City. We're always making national news headlines. There's always some sort of drama. There's some sort of headline. And this morning, we're talking with our friend Brad Young from Hairstyle Fisher & Young. Of course, as we know, we had the situation that came up where Kim Gardner quit yesterday. She quit. So she quit a couple weeks ago, said she was staying until June 1st. We had Attorney General Andrew Bailey on last week. He was phenomenal and said, we're still putting the pressure on. The pressure was so intense. In fact, what happened? She quits too early. But when an attorney general forces this and a circuit attorney quits, somebody's got to replace.
That's right.
Somebody's got to do the job.
And quickly.
And it's already just a hellish situation.
But let's also remember that she wasn't prosecuting cases anyway. She was allegedly managing the circuit attorney's office, but she was not herself going to court prosecuting cases. She never once went to court and prosecuted a case. So if anything, maybe this will loosen the reins on some of the folks working under her, the few that are left, and they can actually start prosecuting cases in her absence.
Well, she had no choice. I agree with that from Paul, who just said that. The other part is she wanted Wesley Bell, the St. Louis County Circuit Attorney. Imagine if this was happening in your city that you live, anywhere in this country, in your state. She wanted the St. Louis County prosecutor to try to take over. He was on the phone. They're trying to figure out, and people rip me and whatever else. I like Wesley.
He's not much better.
I know. And you and I disagree.
He's not much better.
I agree with Wesley. I agree.
He has also never stepped foot in court and prosecuted.
No,
at least as of last year, has never been in court and never prosecuted.
How many times was Robert McCullough in court as predecessor?
Many.
No.
That's
was. Not true.
Yes, he was.
No, it was. When you compare
obviously, they're managing the office. They're not always the people who are in the court.
You can count them on a time of hand, is what I was told.
But at least it was more than, it was at least at all.
Well, one.
At least at all.
That's the nature of the business. When that all happens, is the fact that you get a situation where you have attorney generals. So our attorney generals trying to figure this out. Then you have prosecuting attorneys coming in and can I do this? So they're in talks with the attorney general's office. Parsons coming out going, wait a second, it's going to be the attorney general's office that's now going to take charge. So that's what we're getting ready to talk to Brad
which
about.
I absolutely love the idea of, because I do not want Wesley Bell in St. Louis City. He's better than Kim Gardner, but not by far.
Why?
I don't think he's doing an effective job in St. Louis County.
I want examples next time. We'll talk about it later.
We will give you some examples.
We can break, and that's fair to break down examples.
Absolutely
always.
So. And he'd probably join us. I would love to talk to him.
Yeah, he told me he would.
Yeah, I think he would.
We've got Brad Young from Hairstyle Fisher & Young. Brad, we appreciate you jumping in today. Your big mic your big brain Brad with his big mic stick. Thanks for joining us, big man.
Good morning.
Hey, can you give us a scorecard? What's happening in St. Louis City and the reason it's so important? Because once again, the country's watching and seeing what the hell's going on over there in the Show Me State.
Well, first of all, let's talk about the events of yesterday. Initially, Kim Gardner said she was going to resign June 1st. Yesterday, all of a sudden, she said, well, surprise, JK, I'm going to quit today. Now, the question becomes, why is that? Well, there was a hearing yesterday at 1:30, and the hearing was on the quo warranto action to remove her from office. And Attorney General Bailey was still going to schedule her deposition, wanted to depose her, really to find out about the fact that she was working in violation of state law. She was going to nursing classes at St. Louis University while she was supposed to be being the prosecuting attorney.
Yeah, while she was supposed to be actually in court.
Well, exactly. Or while someone from her office while she was supposed to be in court on a contempt hearing, on a contempt hearing, she was instead taking classes at St. Louis U. So I believe that she did not want to go to this hearing. And so in order to avoid the hearing, she just resigned effective immediately, and that got it out of the hearing. Also, that eliminated the option that Attorney General Bailey wanted to do, which was depose Kim Gardner, depose people in her office, ask for the continual request for production of documents. All of those things were still on track, but they were all of a sudden derailed when she said, I'm resigning effective immediately. So that's what happened yesterday. And that's why I believe she took that action yesterday, was to avoid yesterday's hearing at 1:30. Now, the next thing is, you guys were talking about this a few moments ago while I was having some camera problems, which, by the way, no one ever complains when I have camera problems once they see me. So, that's usually not a problem. But no, the point that you made, and you guys were having a discussion about Wesley Bell. Here's I'm not going to use the word crazy, but the word that comes to mind is unprecedented, is that Kim Gardner was saying, and actually stated in her resignation email to the governor, that the reason she resigned immediately was because she already worked out with Wesley Bell for his office to step into her shoes and to take control of her office. Well,
that's not her place to do.
First of all, that's something that's done by the governor. All right. Under Missouri law, as soon as that office is empty, it's up to the governor to fill it. It's not like a monarchy where you get to choose your successor. It doesn't work that way. And that's why I thought it was interesting that Chris King, the spokesperson for Wesley Bell's office, he was dumbfounded by this because, number one, he didn't know what was going to happen. Number two, there was never a plan for Wesley Bell to take over the circuit attorney's office. What the plan was to loan attorneys from the county to the city to assist with showing up for court. And this was also a plan that had been recommended by three of the largest law firms in St. Louis, Lewis Rice, Thompson Coburn, Brian Cave. All three of those law firms have also volunteered to donate attorneys because the circuit attorney's office, the biggest issue is manpower. You have to have people show up for things. I have to show up for things. In fact, I've got a court appearance this morning, virtually, thankfully, so I can be here with you. But I have a court appearance at 9:00 this morning online. And if I don't show up for that, I'm in trouble. And so you really have to have people show up. And that's going to be hopefully remedied by this plan to use private attorneys and other prosecuting attorneys to show up in court, to fill in the victims, to inform the victims of what's going on, and to make sure that criminal cases don't get dismissed solely and exclusively because no one appears. So that's kind of the overview of where we are as of today.
Isn't this consistent with how she has always ran the circuit attorney's office? She has always made her own decisions in places, in areas she had no business making decisions, like the exclusion list. Over 95 St. Louis City police officers who their cases cannot be prosecuted because she deemed them unworthy, yet they had never been reprimanded by the police department. So I'm assuming that exclusion list is going to go away with her.
Yes.
And those officers, their cases will once again be heard. But this is just like her. She's always thinking that she overrules everyone else. I'm not surprised by her actions at all.
No, they're very erratic, and they show the behavior of an erratic person. And we see that. I mean, no one just resigns flippantly. I'm just changing my mind. I'm going to resign today. All right, that's erratic behavior, and that shows an erratic mindset. And it is troubling that this person has been in charge of the circuit attorney's office for the past 6 years. That's very troubling. Now, I will tell you this. Let me add this, because you specifically pointed out here, Tabitha, that that exclusion list should disappear. Let me tell you this. If that exclusion list does not disappear, then whoever the successor is to Kim Gardner will be facing the same type of quo warranto action, because the purpose of the circuit attorney's office is to prosecute crime. And if you have an exclusion list, that means by definition you're failing to prosecute crime.
Talking with Brad Young of Hairstyle Fisher & Young, you're not going to find anybody better that breaks this stuff down. You thought she'd be gone a long time ago. It didn't happen the exact way that anybody thought it would, or that, but at the end of the day, she's gone. What you said would happen, it did happen. Okay. Who's in charge right now? Because the last I saw, the governor has appointed the attorney general's office to take charge for the time being.
Right. And I have a legal problem with that because the attorney general cannot be serving two positions at once. So, but thankfully it's only going to be for today and tomorrow, because on Friday, the governor has promised to make his appointment known as of Friday. And it doesn't require any confirmation. It doesn't have to go through any other channels. As soon as the governor says, this is the next circuit attorney, the interim circuit attorney, then that's official. So even though I had got some problems with the attorney general being the interim for 2 days, it's only for 2 days, and it's not worth really raising a stink about. Here's the bottom line. Here's the answer to your question, Vic. Who's running the shop? It's not the attorney general's office, frankly. It's the assistant circuit attorneys who are still in there. And what's funny here is, and Tabitha, you want to talk about erratic. We've not been able to get a handle on how many attorneys are even in that office.
I know.
She won't confirm.
there can't be many.
I've heard 18 or 19.
Yeah, that's exactly the number that I've heard, 18 or 19. But those who prosecute at the highest level, the murder charges, the high-level felonies, at that point, I think now there's only 2, maybe even 1.
I believe 1. I've heard 1.
So, but my point is that if you at least have 18 attorneys, you at least have people who can show up at court. And basically just tell the judge, look, we got to kick the can down the road for a couple of weeks until we get someone in charge. And here's what's, I don't know who that will be. I know who I would like it to be. I would like it to be Judge Michael Noble. And he's the judge, and you guys know this phrase very well. He's the judge that called Kim Gardner's office a rudderless ship of chaos. But here's why I would like Judge Noble, because the key to this position for the next 12 months is someone that has the gravitas to attract talent. That's the most important thing. You have to have someone in there who's going to draw people and say, I want to work with this person, to draw talent, to get that manpower that's required to prosecute crime and to keep victims informed. And Judge Noble has that gravitas. He has that magnetic personality and a background and the resume, frankly, to draw people to want to join that office. And anyone short of a judge, I think, would lack that gravitas and that resume that would draw people like a magnet into that office.
It's a strong resume that he has. I did hear the loud minority ripping his name in certain circles as if he's not black enough, as if he doesn't understand the streets. He doesn't understand our communities. And you may have heard some of that come down the pipeline as well, because he went to a good school, because he was actually educated and he's from that same area. He knows what's going on. He'd be a terrific pick.
He would.
Once again, Wesley can't do it. St. Louis County. No. He's not allowed to do it.
Nor do we want him to do it.
Well, that's Tabitha's opinion.
That's my opinion.
I don't want him to do it because he's got enough to do in St. Louis County, which is not getting any better when it comes to the whole crime situation. Big Brain Brad, Kim Gardner is gone. What message does this send to the country, do you feel? Because now I think this closes the chapter on her, at least the biggest chapter, as she now exits stage left.
Well, and I'm glad that you said stage left because of her progressive nature. I know what the message that should be sent from this, and this is that progressive district attorneys do not work. We've seen it in Chicago. We see it in New York. We've seen it in the state of Washington. We've seen it in Wisconsin with that Waukesha guy who was released on his own recognizance and then takes his SUV and plows into a crowd during a parade. All right. Just this week in Virginia, there was I believe it was a congressman, a Democrat congressman's office who was attacked by a guy wielding a bat. But what no one's reporting is the guy who was wielding that bat has been released multiple times by a Soros-backed district attorney instead of being incarcerated. So I know what message should be sent. And what message that should be sent is that progressive Soros-backed prosecutors simply are ineffective and do not work in that position. But I don't believe, Vic, that's the message that we're going to hear from the mainstream media. The message that we're going to hear from the mainstream media is that there was dissonance because you had a black city prosecutor and you had a white governor and a white attorney general. And because of that feud, she had to resign. And that's not the message. That is not the message we should take from this.
All right. Brad Young of Hairstyle Fisher Young, we appreciate it. Good luck with your court case today. If you need any help, just call us after the show.
I will. I'll give you a call.
We'll go over things for you. Brad, we appreciate you. Once again, how can people find you, all of your shows, because you're kind of everywhere?
I'm on KMOX. I'm the legal analyst on KMOX and also on KFTK 97.1 FM Talk. I've got a show on Wednesday nights. Every Wednesday night, but not tonight because of baseball, but that's generally where you can find me Wednesday or Thursday nights from 8 to 10 on KMOX.
And it's a fantastic show.
Yeah, just like you. Brad, we appreciate it, buddy. We'll talk to you later. Thank you for the time.
Thanks, guys.
To catch up with what's happening. Now we can hopefully move on. We'll see. There's going to be more headlines coming out of St. Louis City.
I love Brad. I wish he could be the circuit attorney.
Yeah, he does. Well, you know what?
One of my favorite people.
Brad can be bought for the right amount of money Brad would do the job. There is
He
no
would
doubt.
be the best person for it.
I wanted to hit this topic before we got in. Did you see video that I sent? Did you get the border video that I sent you, Joe, by chance? Pro Joe, did that come through? I couldn't remember if I sent that in or not.
Yeah, the one on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to run some of this because yesterday we talked about just the crisis, the disaster, literally the war at our border that's going on. We told you yesterday, and we took some time to talk about veterans being displaced in New York City in favor of illegal aliens who are being bused to the cities. And Eric Adams, the mayor, talking about how they had no other choice. Also, how illegal aliens were being put into 6 high schools being given a day notice, not even a full day on a Friday. Yeah, they're going to be here tomorrow night. Your kids don't have gym class anymore. Well, now you have independent journalists, just like what we do, except on the streets, going out and finding video. This from the border, this at the Mexican border. I believe this was the Mexico-Texas border. This is in the cover of night. Buses picking up illegal aliens and taking them God knows where, but it's in the cover of night.
Yeah, I think it's in El Paso.
Where it's difficult for people to see. Now, check out this guy. He gets a little irate. We'll watch it for about a minute or two and then talk about this before we get to Kathy and Steve. Just,
ladies and gentlemen, this bus, they have dozens, if not hundreds of these buses all throughout El Paso, all throughout Texas, taking illegal immigrants everywhere. And it's more important to protect the illegal immigrants and drive this bus through a ravine across the border so they can get them on without the American media seeing them. And this bus is going to take them somewhere deep in the heart of Texas, drop them off. But Border Patrol tells us the border's secure, nobody's crossing, nobody's coming in illegally as it happens right in front of our face.
Move back. Move back. Move back. Thank you.
Yeah, get out of the way, Americans. There's illegals coming in. Get out of the way, dirty Americans. We got non-citizens we gotta help. You dirty, stinking Americans. This isn't your country. Get out of the way.
He's so funny.
I'm so glad that we're making sure that the media can't see Biden's border invasion. They drive 30-foot buses through ravines so the media can't see Biden's border invasion. And they send border agents out here telling us it's not happening.
That's a lie.
I want you to go over there.
Okay.
So are they going to block our cameras too? Yeah, make sure we can't see it. Very nice. Make sure nobody can see Biden's border invasion. Make sure nobody can see the illegal immigrants. You dirty, stinking Americans.
I'm sorry.
Your country gets more. Yeah, you dirty Americans. Get out of the way. This is the illegal immigrants' country. What do you guys think you're doing? This country's for illegal immigrants. You guys are dirty Americans. Get out of the way. How rude of you. How rude of you to think you have a country anymore. Hey, let's get another truck up here so no media can see this. In fact, let's just ban the media. Hey guys, we're going to need you to shut your cameras off. We cannot document Biden's border invasion, okay? Everybody shut your cameras down. No free speech. The Border Patrol's here to tell me to shut up too. Sir, he says, an American citizen. An American citizen. Unbelievable. This is an attack on the country, folks. That's what this is. If you can't see it, you're oblivious. And we sit here and film it and take this from our government. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But hey, don't worry. They'll get taken care of. They'll get food. They'll get clothes. They'll get everything they need. You dirty Americans need to shut up and get out of the way. Look at this. They get protected. They get protected with guns, but the Democrats want to take guns from you. So guns to protect the illegal immigrants, but y'all aren't allowed to have guns when the Democrats ban all your assault weapons. This is just ludicrous, man. This is a clown world that I live in. What a joke.
You gotta move back.
Get out of the way, you dirty Americans. This isn't your country anymore.
Operation. Please.
Law enforcement, open border law enforcement here. This is what you get when incompetent clowns run your country. And you're not going to shut me up. I'm an American citizen. I have a First Amendment right. It's time we start acting like Americans. This is ridiculous. And you know what? I guarantee you they all agree with me. I guarantee you they all agree with me. But their leaders are too cowardly to do the right thing. Yeah, get that Border Patrol truck in the way. Make sure nobody can see it. Unbelievable.
Okay,
you guys like
when we get a chance, we can go ahead and close out there. We've had Owen Schroyer on the show live before as well. Owen, we love the work he does. He's out on the streets doing a lot of things that other people can't do, won't do, whatever. We're grateful that he came in. Owen Schroyer out of the St. Louis, Missouri area as well. What I find interesting and sad about that whole situation is the fact that you actually see Border Patrol trying to cover up the illegal aliens.
It makes me angry.
It makes me
sitting
angry.
here watching that makes me angry.
Yes.
And this is only a little bit of what we see, and we wouldn't see it unless Owen was there on the border.
And Owen is right. Those Border Patrol agents, who I have known many of, they are completely against this. But you know what? Their hands are tied behind their backs because they want to do a good job, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Here's what else is an issue and a problem. That video, if you look for it in certain platforms, it's gone. If you Google it, it's gone. And it makes you wonder why. What was in that video that was so bad? What was in that video that platforms don't want us to see? What is it? Now, Owen has a history, and if you get tagged so many times, even if you're not doing something wrong, if you have something that's even remotely controversial, then you get canceled, you get hit. And that's a situation we got. The border is not any more safe. We've got more of these situations happening, and we need that video. We need to see what's going on. Where these buses going, I don't know. I saw a comment Glenn said, Eric Adams, the Democratic New York City mayor who we already talked about, now seeing if he can undo New York City being a sanctuary city because they're being overrun. Chicago has talked about the problems that they're having, and every major city in Texas talking about it as well. Houston, Fort Worth, Dallas, you name it, it's happening even more so. Where does it stop? And it's not going to stop.
It's not going to stop until we get Trump or someone like Trump into office. And we know they're not going to let that happen. We know they're not going to allow us to win the election in 2024. They will never allow that to happen. So, Vic, when does it stop? It's never going to stop. This is an invasion. What I want to know, when are people going to start admitting that we're definitely not a democracy. We are no longer a republic. We are a state-ran enterprise, just like so many other third world countries. We are a state-ran enterprise. We have the Constitution. You know what? It's just a recommendation. Because, constitutionally, we can turn all of these people back. We can deport every last one of them. We can force them to apply for asylum and enter legally, but the Biden administration, they won't do it.
Well, there's nothing you can do except if the president and the administration puts rules in place.
And they won't.
That's the only. And then you have Homeland Security Director Mayorkas continuing to say there's not an issue at the border. I mean, legitimately saying that there's not. Now, members of Congress are trying to have him impeached right now because he's saying that with evidence that they have going on. Also, you have other states trying to come to the table, like Florida, Ron DeSantis sending at least 1,500 troops. I heard 1,100 at one point in time, 1,100 police personnel to try to help, and drones. All their drones, police personnel to Texas to try to do something. It's not government. It's states sending, states trying to help. This stuff is unlike anything we have ever seen. And I think we get so comfortable, we don't want to see. I mean, there are many of us that want to see it, but are the greater amount of people in this country really talking about this when they're out and about? Are they really talking about what's going on? Maybe in the southern states, maybe.
It's time to get uncomfortable.
What does that mean?
You're absolutely right.
What do you mean, buddy?
For people to get out of their comfort zone and realize that there is something, we need to do something.
What do you do?
We have to really press our state. We have to, because it's going to come down to where the states are going to have to stick up for themselves. We really have to start pressing because the federal government's not going to help us.
You're so right. And the way I see that, what I see that looking like, Joe, would be our states standing up for themselves, would be to not allow these folks to come to our state. We, just like they have sanctuary cities, we would have a sanctuary state in which we don't allow illegals to come to our state. And you know what? There is more. People say, well, what can you do? What can you do? I'll tell you what you do. All these militias we have across the country, let's get all of our militias down to Texas, because I'll tell you what, Governor Greg Abbott has said he will deputize anyone that is willing to come to Texas and fight against these illegal crossings.
That will start. Yeah. And you have to do something.
And there are. And people don't talk about it. You don't see it in mainstream media. There are militias down there right now, deputized, trying to fight their hardest. You know what people don't see in the media is you don't see the gun battles back and forth between ranchers, between citizens and cartels, but it's happening right here in our own country. We don't see the fact that there are highways, entire highways in our country, in Arizona and in New Mexico, controlled by cartels.
Yeah, a friend of mine's with the ATF, and he travels the country taking out bad guys. And he told me those instances that you talk about, can they happen? Have they happened? Yes. He said there's still much, much fewer than what some people may think. He's like, but they have happened. Could they happen a lot in the future? 100%. He's like, absolutely, it could happen. All it takes is the right environment at the right time, and you've got these sorts of battles going on.
But we're not standing up. Why as Americans,
I think Americans need, okay, here's the thing. We're dumb, we're lazy, and I'm sorry, and you get pissed off for me saying that. When I say it as a large whole, because that's what happens to the fat, happy cat. Again, it's just everything's good. It's easy. Okay, if Americans are told this is what you do, you have to have people who actually put situations together. They mobilize and say, okay, this is what you do. This is how you go get the masses to do this and to do that. This is how you put pressure on your politicians. This is how these politicians put pressure on other politicians.
I've given up on politicians.
And because of
is that a terrible thing to say?
No,
I give up. I give up.
I don't think it's a terrible thing to say, but it's the system. And that's where it's like, okay, how do you change the system? How do you get people to do certain things? And that's my point.
We don't have time, Vic.
I don't know if there is time with as many things that are on the fast track.
It
doesn't make sense. I don't know how it happens.
I have put too much faith, too many years of faith into our system, into thinking that if we elect the right people, we'll have the right things that happen. And it's not happening. Now we are out of time. And now we have no options. Our country is being invaded. There's going to be nothing we can do about it. And for every busload that comes in, guess what? That's more votes that keep our people out of the system. This is actually a coup. People don't call it a coup, but this is a coup because they are bringing in people who are going to be registered Democrat voters. And you know, and I know, they are trying to pass legislation every day to make sure these folks can vote, even though they're not U.S. citizens. Look up federal only ballot. These people in many states, you do not have to be a United States citizen to vote in a presidential election.
That's scary.
It's a very scary thing. You can cast a federal only ballot. It happened in Arizona, and that's why Arizona went blue.
The situation with the federal only ballots, was Arizona the first state?
I don't know if they were.
That's the first time that I heard about it.
No, there's many states that cast federal ballots,
because those are still quote considered conspiracy ballots by some, even though we know that they exist.
Absolutely exist, and it's in the as a matter of fact, it's an amendment in the Constitution, the federal only ballot. But the difference is that a federal only ballot is not supposed to count when it comes to an actual presidential election.
It's only for local, isn't it?
No. It's only for federal.
Oh, for federal.
It's only for federal.
And why even would it be illegal? Why would it even be legal for federal?
They allow non-U.S. citizens to vote in a federal election. Why? I don't know. But the way that it's supposed to work.
It's the slippery slope concept.
It's a very slippery slope. Is they say when it comes down to calling the race, if it's such a close race, they are supposed to remove the federal only non-U.S. citizen vote.
Yeah, right.
But they're not doing that.
They're not doing that.
And it is causing states to turn. And we're going to see more of it. That's what all of this invasion is about. It is a coup. It is to keep the Democrat regime in place. And I don't see any way we can fight it.
But with all of this stuff going on, it's interesting because you're always saying the number one way to get money, the number one way to invest your money is real estate.
Yes, it is.
And then you have all of these situations going on. My God, it's crazy what's going on. We welcome in Kathy Helbig Strict with Experienced Real Estate Partners and Steve Strict with New American Funding. The greatest tag team husband-wife duo on podcast. We appreciate you guys jumping in. Have you seen, I mean, I know you guys are busy. You've got your empires all over the country. I mean, does this stuff that's happening at the border affect you guys in any way? I mean, are you aware of what's going on? Do you see it? Does it frustrate you from a business standpoint? I mean, so many.
So we created this new loan product. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Oh, we know
That's
some
funny.
of those new loan products. Check out Bank of America's loan products.
Yeah, I know.
We started on that one.
A friend of mine actually commented on how much you love that product from Bank of America.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a serious, yes.
Sure, it's frustrating as just Americans, but we haven't necessarily felt a trickle effect directly into our businesses to answer that question.
I'm wondering, eventually, does it does it affect things eventually?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if they're going to be making all these changes to accommodate those people,
They all have to have somewhere to live, and that's going to be an apartment.
I mean, look what just happened with the LLPAs and the mortgage business. They tried to accommodate the people.
Loan level price adjustments.
That were not paying their bills, right? So is it a possibility that they come up with something to help these people also own homes in the United States?
They already are.
Yeah. That's scary. Yes. No, that is scary to me. I mean, and if they come up with something, does that affect the overall picture from a financial standpoint?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And
don't know how yet, but
how do you house millions of people coming into your country that have nowhere to live? What do? You build apartment buildings, right?
Right.
That's how you house people. You build apartment buildings. You use people's taxpayer money, like they're doing in St. Louis City, where we're building that Afghan community.
Right.
Millions of dollars going into a community for people who came here, some illegally.
Do real estate?
And I'm sure that's already been the plan, because apartment buildings have been the thing for the last 10 years, really.
That's right.
It's been a booming.
Kathy and Steve,
business.
Eric and Tabitha keep telling me they're going to continue to pop up over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Are real estate agents needed with those situations?
Somewhat. So there's leasing agents out there. Depends on the cities. Like the big cities, they definitely use real estate agents to rent and do apartments. Smaller cities, suburban cities like St. Louis really doesn't. Like an agent might make $50 or $100 to bring somebody to an apartment complex, so not worth your time.
And what's your home value going to be when you have tent cities popping up all over your community?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look what happened to California.
Exactly.
No, it makes sense. I mean, that was one thing we had a question as you guys left last week. Hey, can you ask Kathy and Steve when it comes to hot prices, or where the prices increasing the most, both locally? We're in the St. Louis area, but maybe around the country. Did you guys even have a chance to check that out?
I pulled some stats while I was driving, but
we won't tell.
I'm just curious where, I mean, and start wherever you want.
US cities, this is the data's from 2022, obviously, no 2023 yet. But the US metros with the biggest increase in home values were Farmington, New Mexico was number one. Isn't that crazy?
Okay. I'm like, what?
The hidden gem of
Farmington, New Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be a suburb of Albuquerque.
I don't even know where it is. It had a growth of 20%, and the median price point is $261.
Okay.
Portland, Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton area, growth of 19.5, average home price $520.
That's a beautiful area.
Guess what Naples average? Naples is next.
Naples still?
Naples.
People still going to Naples.
Up 17%. Guess what their average price
Oh my God, and it was already a super expensive place. Let me guess. Average price. Okay, so Naples is near the water. It's I guarantee it's an older median age.
It is.
Because I've been there a few times. I love it.
Median age is around 48.
See, your vibe is more South Beach. My vibe is more Naples.
Me too. I'm more Naples too.
We're creeping closer to Naples. Trust me.
1.1 million.
Over, I would say around 650.
Right in the middle.
Between 802.
Okay, and I went really high.
Yeah.
Because you guys warned me.
Median, you got some lower prices.
If I ever get married, I'm going to move there.
8.
Yeah.
I can't afford to do it on my own.
Over 8 is that the highest in the country?
I wouldn't think it'd be the highest in the
but
country.
guess what state? Just look at this really quickly. There's 2 cities that are really
damn.
affordable, but are also growing. What state would you think is one of the most affordable, but still booming, growing?
Missouri.
No way. So again, the criteria, the criteria again is what?
Best lower price homes.
Yeah,
booming.
Lower
very
price
affordable.
homes, but booming.
Not
very
Naples.
affordable.
Iowa.
No,
Carolina.
No.
North
North Carolina. So number 4, their
Wow.
average price point's $276, and then there's lower down in the list Fayetteville at $220.
Believe it or not, I do
So
a
in the
lot
2
of business
still.
in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
In Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Yeah, we got Myrtle Beach, we've got El
South
Paso,
Carolina.
Punta Gorda comes in at number 9, average price close to $400. Daytona, lots of South cities. Let's see, Fargo,
This
Not
is fascinating.
south.
This is fascinating.
I would never move to Fargo.
Yeah, I know. And Port St. Lucie is
Also a beautiful
15.
place.
Yeah.
Hey, time out. Get that on record. Tabitha said she would never move to Fargo.
I would
you
agree
may
with
be
that,
forced to
Tabitha.
Fargo at some point.
I don't like snow.
Yes.
I don't like
Yeah.
snow.
Now,
That may be the only place you can go with your militia by then.
I do like their accents.
do you want to know the cities that are predicted to drop in 2023?
Hell
How
yes.
about that? How about that?
Can I guess on what last week was? Nashville?
It's not on this.
Okay, I know it would.
Miami.
Whoever's giving that Nashville, I don't know. It says the top 10 cities where home prices are expected to drop. Number 1 is San Jose, California.
Makes sense to me.
Not surprised.
Honolulu, Hawaii.
Very expensive there.
Yes. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And then San Francisco, Oxnard, California, Los Angeles, Sacramento.
Oh, I see a vibe.
Yeah.
It's California related.
New Orleans, Louisiana, Portland, Oregon, and rounding out at Las Vegas at number 10.
California,
No, what-
5 of the top 10.
Yeah.
What do all these cities have in common?
Yes.
High crime rates.
Yeah.
A lot of homelessness, high crime
Exactly.
rates.
Exactly. Then I
Poverty.
looked at St. Louis real quick. Let me show you.
We're only on
the no, but the other situation,
blue.
you have blue states, blue governors.
Absolutely so.
You have that sort of state regulation, state
Lots
law.
of poverty, lots of homelessness.
I mean, we've talked about it so many times. The regulation kills businesses. Steve and Kathy, in the businesses that you've been in, and Steve, you do business all across the country, so you see where things are working and we're not. What do you see that's working when it comes to big government, small government, from the
Florida's
mortgage industry?
working. Florida is working.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
DeSantis is doing a lot of things down there that's very appealing. I think that DeSantis has kept Florida about as United States as the United States has been. If you look into some other states, there's a lot of changes going on, and he's trying to make it, for the people. The other state is Texas. Texas is booming. Everywhere in Texas is booming.
I wonder if
Austin,
that'll
Texas
still
is
be
on
with the end of
fire.
Title 42. I mean, you've got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people just in the last few years coming up through Texas.
But they're not staying in
El
Texas.
Paso has been growing like crazy, and El Paso is right on the border.
It is.
So,
But those people are getting shipped out. Guess where they're getting shipped out
lot of them are.
to the Midwest, to the East Coast. They're not always staying in Texas.
Don't you have business in El Paso too?
no, we have some friends that own a very large brokerage in El Paso. We'll probably be going down that direction, but we do have an office in Austin, Texas. And Austin, Texas is one of the most booming, most competitive markets that I've ever experienced.
Is it right now? Is
As
that
of
what's
right now? It's just in general, because the people that are moving there, they're typically a little bit younger, and I mean younger, I mean probably under 40. They're very, very intelligent, and they do their research. There's a lot of tech going on in Austin, Texas, so it's causing values to go up because those jobs are paying a lot of money.
And it's the home of Matthew McConaughey.
That's
Oh my
right.
God.
And there you go. Tabitha just found the secret.
That's right.
I love the great state of Texas, and Florida's changing. Governor
It
Ron DeSantis is either has or is in the process of passing a law in which illegals cannot work in the state of Florida. They cannot work. If you own a construction company, a landscaping company,
change a lot.
you cannot hire illegals, and that's going to change everything for Florida.
And
It sure
both of
will.
those states don't have state income tax.
That's
Yep,
right.
makes a big deal.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
I say we all just pack up and go now.
We're ready,
Let's
girl.
go.
Let's do it.
Kathy,
We can
did you?
podcast from down there, right?
Yes, anywhere.
We'll be
and
agents
everywhere.
for you guys.
Did you have a list again?
I have some St. Louis top cities.
Oh yes, yes. I got so fascinated by what was happening nationally.
Yeah. So I'll round it out at the top 9. I don't even know where.
And once again-
Crystal Lake Park, Missouri comes in at number 10.
And this is for fastest home prices.
Yeah, growing values.
growing value.
Yeah,
Okay.
growing values. Number 9 came in at Clarkson Valley. Warson Woods, number 8. Augusta, number 7, with all the
St. Charles County.
that's happening there. Sunset Hills,
Number 7.
number 6. Number 5, Des Peres or Des Pres, if you're not from here.
Or if you're using your GPS,
Right.
Des Perez.
Yeah. Westwood, Missouri came in at number 4.
Wait a minute. Where's Westwood?
I don't even know where Westwood is.
I don't know
Look
where
that one up.
Westwood is.
Frontenac, Missouri, number 3. Lodway, if you're using GPS too. Number
is it?
2, and Town and Country, number 1. So those are pretty much West County for the most part in St. Louis and
Central Corridor.
Central Corridor.
There's a Crystal Lake. I don't know if that's the one that you're talking about. That's right there off Bope Road. I don't know if it's a really tiny little
maybe.
town, but I don't know if that's it or not.
Crystal, I will have to look that.
Do any of those surprise you, or what do you think stands out about that list for our local listeners? We took our time with our national listeners and went over the country now in the St. Louis area.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Is there anything that's fascinating to you about that or stands out people should know?
It wasn't really the one that was surprising was that Mexico farming, whatever it was,
Farmington, New Mexico.
Farmington, New Mexico.
And New Mexico is a beautiful state.
Yeah, that was the only one that really took me by surprise. And there's some areas in Missouri that are small town Missouri that made the top 25 list as well. So yeah, the rural areas are definitely growing.
They have to grow. You know why? Because we have nowhere left to go.
Exactly.
We have to keep migrating, not microwaving, away from crime.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we people started out in the city.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people. I lived in the city.
Yeah.
Came to the county.
Mm-hmm.
Now in St. Charles. Now looking to move further out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Anything going on in the market this week of note as well? We check in with Kathy and Steve every Wednesday. Of course, if you have any real estate questions, as you know, Kathy is the person to call. Nobody's going to advise you better. Her years of experience unmatched. You can give a call to 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. All you have to do is just give them a call. Give them a call, ask questions. They'll talk to you. They'll get you started. Steve, of course, with New American Funding as well. Same situation. If you know them on Wednesdays, you can trust them, and the experience is there to give great advice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, just some quick things. We had an appraiser come in and talk to our group yesterday because as prices keep increasing, it seems like there's always a lag behind with, appraisals and home values because that all goes on history. And so it was interesting to hear from the horse's mouth how they evaluate certain things. And some of them were shocking. And we're like, oh man, that's going to be rough for buyers, like a pool and what they actually give for a pool versus what you actually pay for a pool versus what a consumer thinks is the value of a pool. So things like that were really interesting. But it just brought back to mind to me that right now, because St. Louis and a lot of areas still are a booming real estate market, which means there is going to be competition, which means you're getting back to the point where you're going to have to decide, do we make it contingent on an appraisal or not make it contingent on an appraisal? That can be a scary thing if you don't have extra money in the bank. We had an appraisal come in this week, $11,000 under the sale price. So if you don't have your down payment and your closing costs and then an extra $11,000 sitting, in your back seat, you're in trouble if you didn't make it contingent on the appraisal. So just some tips out there for the consumer right now. There is ways to kind of compromise that. If you don't have the money, you should go in with the protection, number one. If you do have the money and you're willing to gamble that, you praying that it comes in at value so you don't have to come out of pocket, but if it doesn't, you will, then you can use that as a bargaining chip to take that off the negotiation table. Or there's something in the middle is called using the appraisal gap negotiation technique. So what that is I'm going to go in and say, listen, I'm going to offer you $450 for the house. I am getting financing or not. You can even do it if you're not getting financing. I'm going to make it contingent on the appraisal. Usually the language of that says it's going to appraise at the sale price or more. But if it doesn't, then here's the gap, your little gap insurance language you're going to put in there. You're going to say, if it doesn't, I'm willing to cover the gap. So in other words, when it comes in below the purchase price, up to X.
Okay.
So you're pre-negotiating if it comes in low. So let's say that $11,000 one came in low. If that buyer would have said, I'm willing to pay up to $6,000 in an appraisal gap if it comes under value. Now we're looking at the buyer and seller only have a $5,000 difference that is still left up in the air.
And they can meet in the middle.
And they can meet in the middle if they want, or they don't have to, and then the deal falls.
Oh.
But that way it gives a little bit of give and take of saying, I hope it comes in at value, but if it doesn't, I don't have unlimited funds. So I'm willing to wager blank.
I didn't even know it worked. I know so little about appraisals. I'm one of those people, when I hear the word appraisal, it is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
So you're trying to say
Same with many people.
I know.
Yes,
If I'm out looking for a home, let's say I write a contract, I don't have this gap deal in my contract.
Correct.
And I have the house appraised and it comes in at, let's say, $15,000 less than what I agreed to pay. Then I have to make up that difference in cash if I don't have this clause.
Correct.
Wow. I had no idea.
If you didn't make it contingent on the
No
appraisal.
idea.
Now, you don't have to have the gap clause for that. So the way the appraisal rider works is it says if it doesn't appraise for sale price, then the following options are available. You can go back to the seller and ask the seller to reduce the purchase price to match the appraised value. The seller doesn't have to. The seller can say, not happening, we're going back on the market. Deal's over, you get your money back, everybody goes back to the starting board. Or you can come back and say, never mind, I still want it, I'll come up with the money. Then the seller, everybody moves forward. Or you try to negotiate something in the middle. If you fail to come to an agreement, then it terminates, you get your money back, and everybody goes back to the starting.
Fascinating.
That's
Kat,
some good info.
what's our total of open houses this week throughout the area?
Listings.
Did you have a chance to
we
check
don't know
that
open yet? But new listings are right at about 480 right now. Wednesdays are always as soon as we get to Thursday and Friday, we tick up, another probably 20 or 30 houses.
No.
But about 480 right now. We got another 200 coming soon.
It just seems like it's so important now. And I don't want people to get turned off by it, but it just seems like buying a house now has become so much more difficult. You have to have so many more facets taken care of, which is why you need an expert, which is why people need to give you guys a call or whoever you know.
Well, one of the questions that we hear all the time, is it a good time to buy a house, sell a house? That is a common question, right?
Yep.
My answer for the past 6 months, and Kathy probably the same, is I don't know. If you can afford it,
but you're the expert,
and you love the house, then you buy it.
It's better than having cash in the bank, I'll tell you that.
But
yes,
I heard some information yesterday to where now I firmly believe that it's a good time to sell your house. And here's why.
Okay.
Inflation numbers came out last week. They're expected 5%. They're right around 4.9%. Didn't make that big of a difference.
Yes.
They're expecting the numbers, the unemployment numbers, and things to come out in July from June to drop inflation from that 4.9% to possibly around 3.5%.
Oh,
what is this going to do? It's going to put more houses on the market because interest rates will drop.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, there will be less inventory. There will be less competition. There will be buyers out there, right? But instead of having 20 people bid on your house, there might be 10.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to maximize your value today and get over list price, I think you put it on the market now. If you want to receive closer to your list price, I think you wait.
Yeah.
So right now, I actually believe firmly in my heart that it's a good time to think about selling and getting your house in the market.
Amen. And for all the people out here that are commenting right now on the North County thing, I've got 2 people right now that wanted to live in St. Charles, right? They moved to North County and they love it. They love Florissant. They love the whole Florissant area up there. They like, we can get deals up there, and we never thought
that's
we could
true.
Get
there are some good price houses.
Yeah.
Well,
there.
it's safe
if you don't get shot on your way home.
Well, it's safe in Florissant, Tabitha. We do know that. I mean, we've talked about that. A third of Florissant's budget goes to their police force, which is very fascinating.
My parents still live there.
Yeah, you grew up there, Steve.
I did.
Wasn't Ferguson like the Ladue of St. Louis for a while?
It was different.
It was
up in Ferguson.
It was like Leave It to Beaver.
It was nice though, wasn't it?
My grandparents lived there back in the day.
Yeah. It was a very nice town. All the old plantations and nice houses were.
And right now, I've seen some houses right now on the market. If anybody wants to move in that direction, they can call you. It's one of the few places you can buy an affordable home and get acres of land and be so close in proximity. And I have friends that live in Florissant who said it's perfectly safe.
Yeah.
I hate saying that.
There are areas.
With anywhere there's areas.
Absolutely
so. For sure. Yeah. So there's great opportunity to buy and sell right now. There's all kinds of options for people to get cash products because we are getting back to that.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like cash offers are beating everybody out. But again, remember everybody, there is such thing as a cash offer, but there's also an offer that's called not contingent on financing. There is a difference.
Okay, and
you can still be competitive with a not contingent on financing offer, even though you don't have the cash in the bank. And Steve can hook you up with a cash.
That's the one.
Puts the cash.
That's the one. He just
how does that work?
$2 million on him.
So Steve comes in here like, what is it, a month ago and goes, oh, and by the way, you don't need to worry about the contingency thing anyway. We got that finance too. Bye. I was like, wait. That is such an awesome deal.
I know, it really is.
Is that unique to you guys? Because I've never even heard of that before.
It is unique to us for that particular product because we created a company that helps them buy it. A lot of these cash offer products that these companies are coming out with, it's a ploy, it's a trick. And when it comes to sourcing your funds and showing the bank statement for proof of funds, those companies can't offer that. They say, well, actually it's this.
Mhm.
So we'll actually provide these buyers with proof of funds with a couple $1 million in the account, so the seller feels comfortable with that actual cash offer.
Yes.
It's a really incredible product.
It's phenomenal.
How can people get in contact with you, Steve? Because I know there's New American Funding businesses all across the St. Louis area.
There are. You know what? You can go to the strickgroup.com.
STRICK.
Correct.
Group.com.
Group.com. Or you know what? I'll put my phone number out here today.
Oh boy.
It's 314-374-0770. I actually typically don't do that, but
It's all right.
You know, we're a family here.
You wrote that down.
Can you
right?
repeat it
We
one
are.
more time? Because I'm going to
It's
check.
Steve, it's
314-374-0770. Feel free to
Outstanding.
text me. Anybody on the line if you want to talk.
And I'm telling you
that's
what,
quite the
Best way to
offer.
reach me. Yeah.
you guys are right, because people are trying to get houses and they're like, I've got this. I'm going to put a bid out today and Wednesday I'll have the house. Nope. There's 30 other people.
Eric, here's the problem. People don't know what they don't know.
Yes.
In this
That is
market.
so me.
So
Truly
many things
don't.
in life.
They think they do and they don't, and they're hurting themselves
Yeah.
by not getting with experts. Because we are learning something new every single day because of the fast movement and contracts that are coming in and pivots that have to be made. You're
Yeah.
not.
Isn't
You bought
it
a
weird
house
though?
8 years ago, 10 years ago, it was not anything like the market that we're in, and you don't know.
It's so strange. You would think it's like, all right, you go to Zillow. It says 245. This is a real story. $245,000 for this house. It's okay. All right. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm going to just get the wallet. I'm going to pay $245,000. And they go, nope. I was like, wait, what?
You just told me, yeah.
Right.
And then they get $285 for the house because
Even
they
at
keep.
$285.
And you're like, what the truck just happened?
And I
Exactly.
can tell you, when is this your first house that you want to ride on? That's a really hard mental game to
This may
get
sound like a
over.
stupid
But
question.
you
Game
have
is the
to.
good word. It is a game.
It is. There's
Do you
lots of
see-
gaming going on?
Okay, this may sound like winning the lottery. Do you ever see cases where somebody selling the house goes, you know what? I like those people. They don't have the best offer.
Good question.
But you know
Great
what?
question.
I'd love to see them in this house because this house has sentimental value to me.
Yes.
Is
On
that-
occasion, but
Yes.
most
It
of
does
the time,
happen? So
on
you're
occasion,
saying there's
yeah,
a chance.
There's a chance. But most of the time, that seller and buyer don't interface. So
Okay.
there's not really a way to know. Then there was the whole love letter thing. So love letters were always a way of being, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, will you present with your offer? We love your house. We can imagine seeing our family run down the stairs and open their Christmas presents. Do you know how many fair housing laws I just broke from saying that?
Oh.
Family, Christmas, religion,
Really?
familial status,
Yeah.
kids.
Damn, this is
What?
good stuff.
This is this is a master
Yeah.
class in
Can't
this
have
crap.
this.
This
I
is
said, you don't know what you
unreal.
don't know?
Right.
That's it.
God.
So those became problematic, and there was actually a push to outlaw them.
Really?
And some states have, I believe, Oregon outlawed it like 2 years
Because
ago.
that's
Okay, wait a minute.
discrimination,
Hold on.
clearly.
Discrimination.
Wait,
I think
wait.
Kathy answered my question. Yeah,
She
Vic,
sure
on
did.
HGTV. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
All right, wait a minute. Wait.
That's
Check
It's
this
a
out.
fun one.
Funny,
Love
Kathy.
letters is a fun topic.
Yes, it is. So
I had never
let's-
even heard of that.
let me ask you a question. Let's go back to the $245,000 house.
Mhm.
And you're like, listen, and you talk to your realtor and you look around the room so no one's listening to you. I'm willing to go to 300 on this thing.
Mhm.
I want to put a bid in for 300, but if the top bid is only 260,
Mhm.
why do I have to pay 300,000 if I could pay 261? You see, how does that work?
Then you do an
Escalation clause,
escalation. So then you offer 255 with an escalation of $2,000 more than the highest offer,
Okay.
not to exceed blank. So then
Okay.
you put your window out there. So then you could say all the way up to 300, but if nobody else makes a bid over 275, I'm not giving you that extra
What's it?
$25,000.
Why doesn't the seller say, "Yeah, I got one for 299"?
Well, they got to provide it. Now, not
Oh.
saying that people don't cheat. I've never seen it. I've never had a seller come back to me and try to make up a contract, but I guarantee there are people
Yeah.
that do it and unscrupulous real estate agents that do it. It's not very common, but there are problems in some areas. They've outlawed escalation clauses in some states as well. It's not outlawed in Missouri. We have some brokerages that are taking a policy against it. There's pros and cons to it. You're kind of showing your cards as the buyer by saying, I'm willing to pay $300 if your maximum was $300. But that doesn't mean if the seller comes back and says, I don't have an offer to show you, that you can't stand your ground and say, I'm not going to $300. I only wanted to go to $300 if I knew 5 other people were going to pay that. Right. Now that I know they're not, I feel like that was too high of a bid. So I'm sticking with my cap of my $2,000 over the highest offer, or if there wasn't another offer, then it goes all the way back down to your original price.
Yeah. And the problem with
now
that
the seller can counter that.
Yeah, the seller now has that number of the 300,000. See, at eBay.
Yeah.
At eBay, it's digital.
Part.
It's
and the
digital.
Reason why in some states that they have outlawed it is because in their basically realtor bylaws, it's not legal to provide someone else's terms of an offer to a third party.
Is it time for us to get new real estate laws in here? And how we deal with the predatory.
They're always out petitioning for new.
Well, I mean, is it time because you have now BlackRock all over the place? You got these weird things. You got the 40 people wanting one house, and it's like confusing as hell. Like a buyer's bill of rights.
That's never going to change just because it's free enterprise and just supply and demand always is going to cause spikes in the market. And then as soon as we stop having that, and that's when you start seeing prices go down or prices, staying the same. But that's not going to change with any laws.
Okay. Well, never mind.
Hey, before you get out of here, I just want to let you know that Tracy jumped in on the comment line and said, I did have a listing and my seller took a lower offer due to a love letter.
Yeah.
The buyers had a child in a wheelchair and they didn't get through inspections on their last purchase and sold their home. They were staying with a family and the child had to crawl up the stairs to his bedroom. People, there are good people out there.
If I'm selling,
what a story!
I'm listening to that story.
Yeah.
Can I bring an envelope into a house that I want to see on a Saturday and just kind of leave it there on the?
Leave them a little later.
You don't have to answer that now. We can answer it.
Here's the deal.
Because your goat needs a home.
You're not bound by the real estate laws. I am.
I know. Hey,
but here's
Kathy,
the
turn
thing.
your head.
It's the seller. You're the buyer. You're the buyer. It's the seller that can get in trouble. People don't think about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're like, let's put this offer in with a love letter as the agent, and you deliver.
Oh, I see. Because the seller would be committing.
The seller then makes a decision based on something in that love letter and picked yours over this person's. And it was because anything that's covered under the fair housing laws.
Well,
that's a shame.
That other buyer can come back.
All's fair in love and war, right?
Say that was
all's fair in love and war.
You didn't pick me because I'm a single male, and you picked them because they're a family.
I would be like,
blah, 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 blah.
I've driven by your house for the last 10 years wanting this. And my daughter, who has whatever disease, he wants to not walk up. I mean, I know exactly how I would write it. It would be tear jerking.
Now, of course it would be.
And then you would do the narration on my video.
Yeah, we've seen lots of them. And there's been times when I've had to make the decision as the realtor not to move it forward.
That would be
show it.
That would be a hard situation because if you're, some people who've lived in a home, they've lived there most of their lives or they've raised their kids there. They want to see the house in a certain way moving forward. Right. And to me, and I realize that that's not the law. They should be able to sell to whoever they want for whatever reason they want to sell them to.
Right.
We've had you on for a long time. Real quick, Pam Gifford. Pam, give them a call if you get a chance. 314-276-SOLD. 314-276-SOLD. Pam says her daughter's buying in O'Fallon, Missouri right now. How is the market over there?
O'Fallon's always booming. O'Fallon makes the list for years as a booming city.
You know what?
Okay.
There's a house for sale right across the street from me.
Pam, have your daughter give them a call. They know O'Fallon very, 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 very well.
And they can be my neighbor. There's seriously a house right across the street from me.
No, you don't want that.
The
value price will go down. In Seattle, I'm pretty sure the Chamber of Commerce told everybody in the world that it always rained there, so not more people would move there.
Yeah. That's what my son thinks. He wants to move there. I'm like, it rains all the time because that's just what they want you
It was beautiful. It's 72 degrees and sunny all summer long. It was amazing.
Kathy Helbig Strick, Steve Strick, we appreciate you guys. Steve's number, once again, 314-374-0774. Is that correct?
0770.
0770.
No.
You need to get
There we go.
And of course, Kathy Helbig Strick with Experienced Real Estate Partners, expect to be moved. 314-276-SOLD. 314-276-SOLD. We appreciate you. Thank you. You
Thank you,
guys
guys.
rock
Thank you
it.
guys.
And
See you,
thanks
Eric.
thanks for talking border issues with us as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
We love it.
Anytime.
If you guys have issues or something that like get you fired up each morning, just text me.
Yeah,
Let me
Bring
know.
it in. You got it.
We'll put it on the list because you guys, you're not just real estate and mortgage experts. You have other companies and all kinds of things going on. We appreciate it. Good to
All
catch
right.
up with
Thank
you
you guys.
Love
Appreciate it.
All righty.
Love it.
Bye. It is fun to get into all that
Do
stuff.
I
What a
feel-
great segment today.
Do I feel unstylish when they're in here? Yes. Look at them, man.
Coordinating. And
God.
you both always look beautiful.
No wonder I haven't succeeded in life yet.
Yeah, but you look good. Well, you know what? You do look better in your BMW.
Jeez. Not that
You do look good
Nick
zipping
is
in.
trying to say you look poor until you step into your car.
That used to be a nice car until I rode around St. Louis and smashed into every single pothole there is out there.
Guys,
Used to be a beautiful car.
it is cancelthisshow.com. Hey, Joe, I was going to wait to do our first round of commercials if that's cool right before green light. Is that cool? So we can just continue on because we've got green light. It is Weed Wednesday coming up in about 25 minutes. We've got Charlie Unger on from their Chippewa store. We're going to know more about and learn more about some of the products and the stores and things of that nature as we continue on with our education on weed.
Did they bring samples?
No, you know what? We at the golf
for the love of God.
But here's the thing. We checked into this.
Come on, man.
They're not allowed by state law to give samples. They're not. We tried to do it. We tried to do it for the complete auto body repair golf tournament Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Bomarito, the owner who came
How
in
can we
here-
be a testimonial if we don't know what the damn thing is?
Well,
Come on.
we're going to go buy some and we're going to take them before the show. We're going to take different
Right here on air.
We're going to take different gummies.
Okay.
And we'll see how we're all affected by the end of the show.
It's like I can't go and sponsor a Tesla. I've never driven one. You know what I'm saying?
But you can go
It
drive
looks
a gummy.
cool,
You
but
can
it
go
does.
get a gummy. You can try it.
Okay.
But also, there's one interesting thing. Flour is in big demand right now. Charlie's going to talk about that. So there are all alternatives.
Yeah.
Because flour is in short supply. Because go figure, Missourians bought the stuff out, man. The Show Me State has been show me the money. That's for sure.
Isn't that something?
It really is.
Well, you know what? When in Rome.
Yeah, when in Rome. Real quick, couple updates before Tabitha is going to tell us about this AI situation that's going on.
Oh, yes.
In her tab take. First of all, a couple updates I wanted to get to. Ferrari is saying no to any electric engines. They're done. They said we're going to stick with traditional combustible engines.
Yeah.
For the 0.00001%
And they'll still get beat by the
that can afford
Tesla.
the Ferrari.
True story.
Oh, Bud Light sales. First week of May, there is no reprieve, down 23.6% in the first week of May. You can't make the crap up. They're still getting pounded.
They're done.
Pounded.
Stick a fork in them. They're the new Zima.
Okay.
You don't even remember Zima.
The Los Angeles. Oh, I do. I've gotten accused of drinking that.
It's disgusting.
They're the new Bartles.
Now
and
it's called
James.
Truly.
What?
They're the new Bartles and James.
Oh, I thought those were the Trulies.
The
were out
new
there.
Purple Hooter is Bud Light.
The Los Angeles.
Remember the Purple Hooters?
I drank many of those.
First shot I ever
Come
made as a
on, man.
bartender.
Am I
What was
preaching
Purple
over
Hooter?
here? What's going on?
What was in your Purple Hooter?
Chambord, I remember that's
Yes.
what made it purple. Vodka, I think.
Yes.
Can't remember what else.
And it was served out of the holy hand grenades. Remember those?
The what?
The holy hand grenades, the containers. All they were missing was the little
Purple
crucifix
Hooters.
on the top.
When you go back and I bartended back in the Stone Ages.
You got to be
back when people walked into the bar and the
How
only
many
thing
roofies did you send out?
never, and they would order shots, and you knew what your shots were. It was bourbon.
Yeah.
It was like a whiskey, or it was a schnapps, and that was it.
Bourbon.
What?
There used to be no
won't
shots, and then
scotch.
eventually they started Purple
I won't
Hooters and
beer.
They didn't have any shot. Of course they did. Tequila's like thousands of years old.
tequila, yes, but I'm talking about they used to be straight liquor shots. They didn't start making fancy shots and
Okay.
until like
Yes.
the Purple Hooters and the
Everclear.
Alabama
Yes.
Slammers.
Where
Remember
you
those
needed
days?
a damn. Where you?
Alabama.
Oh my God.
The
Where you
Alabama
needed
Slammer.
a menu for shot. You ever?
Yes.
You know, it's like a shot now is like the new martini. There's like millions of flavors of shots. You got what is it? The lemon drop shot. shot.
And that was one of the
You got-
originals.
The OG of all these new weird shots is the Vegas bomb, of course.
Yeah.
That's an old shot.
It's old,
One
but
of
it's
the
not
first-
that old.
That was the first shot ever comprised
I
of
saw
Red Bull.
one recently called the bomb pop shot.
That's
bomb
old.
pop shot.
That
Not
it's
new.
literally red, white, and blue.
That's from like the 90s.
It's not, but then you got to start defining shots.
Tabitha knows her alcohol.
I was
Then
a bartender for 13
because
years.
would you call a car
In my
bomb a shot?
part-time.
Is a car?
A car bomb is also a very old shot, but it's still all of
Is that a
these-
shot?
The original shots are the best shots. Just so you know, the car bomb.
no, that's not
It's
that
a drink,
old.
really. A car bomb.
An
is-
Irish car bomb
I
is
was
not that
making
old.
Irish car bombs in the 90s.
Buttery nipples,
Okay, that's in the 90s.
kamikazes are old.
And you're all missing the point. You forgot about Sex on the Beach. I mean, and
The
Jerry-
Is
original
that a
drink.
shot?
It's
That
a
is a
drink.
shot.
Well,
You're right.
how-
It is.
It
It is.
can be a
is.
shot
It is.
or a
It can
drink.
be.
You're right. It is.
It
I'm
can be a
sorry.
shot or a drink.
And then the
Frozen.
then there's the other
I
one.
will
that
be
you can't say on
bartending
the
at the Cancel This party this summer.
How
Do
did
you
we-
do you
how-
still remember it? Like the concoctions and
Some
stuff?
of it. Some of it.
How did we get on this again?
I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
it's so fascinating.
Well, it is fascinating
This
because
shows how
everybody
old
likes
we
it.
are.
There's buttery nipple shots. I mean, we're
Buttery
just listing them all
nipples.
up. I mean, these are some good things.
Other news headlines: the Dodgers, they just couldn't help themselves, facing a lot of condemnation right now because they announced that they're going to honor a quote gay and transgender group that uses Catholic imagery in sexualized context. They're giving their honor, their presentation of their Community Hero Award.
Excuse me?
Yeah, the Dodgers are. So they're jumping in the game just
So
like
what?
Bud
They're-
Light did.
So they got like they got a transgender dressed up as a pope.
No, they use a lot like pictures and crosses, and they dress up as nuns, as transgender
Man.
nuns.
Mhm.
And the Dodger, hey, it's one thing if you want to do it, great, but the Dodgers are actually putting them on a pedestal and giving them an award. Very interesting stuff that's going on there. One other, and we said it at the beginning of the day as we get into Tab's take. Look out for Daniel Cameron. He was the attorney general in the state of Kentucky. He is right now, but he is running for governor. He is a younger African-American backed by Donald J. Trump, and he just beat out a pretty serious field of candidates, including a former employee of Donald Trump, who was a female. She was on his staff, backed by Ron DeSantis, and they were all beaten. He is trying to run for governor and has a good shot at winning that in the state of Kentucky. Just fascinating to
It is fascinating, but on the other side of the ledger, you have the lady who just won the mayor's race in Jacksonville, Florida. How does that happen? How do you have a Democratic mayor win right in the middle of Florida? It's a true story, though.
I'm not familiar with her.
I'm not
Her
either,
name.
but I saw. You know, I was watching today Morning Joe.
You got to stop doing that.
I know.
Why do
But
you do that to yourself?
I do it because
Probably
I'm
makes you sick.
okay. I'm highly interested. I'm highly interested in what's going on in the world right now.
That's
I
a good
am.
thing, that-
I am so fascinated with how we can present our case every morning here.
I like that you're watching Morning Joe.
Every morning
Because you come in more educated about these different topics.
every morning I come in here. We come in here because we have this certain voice of news that we all listen to, which is probably the accurate news to listen to. And then you go to CNN and you go to MSNBC and the Meek and Joe show, which is unbelievably bad. But I digress. I do it for you. You don't have to do it. And and they're talking about topics that are important to those liberals that have nothing to do with the country. Like they get on AI. That's important to everybody. It is. But they talk about how Durham is a bad guy and how this whole investigation is a nothing burger. I'm like going, oh my God, do you guys not realize what you're saying? Then they talk about this mayor who won in a red state, a Democratic governor, and they are praising her. But I don't know if they were really praising her because she was like, I want to get along with everybody. I have to work with the governor. And you saw these liberals kind of going, well, good luck with that, kind of a thing. So, but you got to realize in this room, we get news and we get jacked up about the news that we hear. There's a certain percentage of the country that has zero idea about some of the things that we talk about. As a matter of fact,
they don't.
As a matter of fact, Elon Musk was on some show yesterday talking about the Hunter Biden story and how that the interviewer was a liberal guy, apparently, goes, he didn't even know about the story. He was kind of familiar with it, but he's like, so what is this with the Hunter Biden thing? How does I was like I was fascinated. I go, this is a journalist, a professional. So my thing is this: we are jacked up about all these stories. there are people that are
Yeah, they're not
they don't.
listening
They
to
are
shows
not.
like ours. They don't even
Correct.
know these issues happen. They have no idea what's going on, and that's why they have zero common
Welcome
sense.
to national media.
But they are just as jacked up on the other side. If you
Of course.
Of course they are.
If you bring up to the other side, well, first of all, they think of this the Kennedy who's running as an anti-vaxxer. They won't even listen to anything else he says.
Of course.
He's just an anti-vaxxer. Number two is if they bring up abortion, it is a nuclear weapon topic for them. It makes every Republican the baddest person on the planet.
I have a confession. I used to lean left. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, no.
Tabitha thinks you have a mental illness, but I say it's fine.
No, what I'm saying is
you beat it.
It was because of the things that I would watch.
Yes.
It was because I didn't want to hear what Fox News was saying or anything because they were bad. They were liars. But then when you start watching this stuff, you get an even balance of what's going on and you can make a decision for yourself.
But not really.
That's interesting. How long ago was that, Joe?
It's probably right. Well, what really started opening my eyes is the pandemic.
Okay.
The pandemic,
Okay,
exactly.
So you're a new
yeah.
right of center person then.
Relatively, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
my father's been right, real right for a long time, and my mom was left or is left, and so I've had a balance between them, but I just shut it out for the longest time.
I think here's the thing I see with the other side is they're playing chess. And they're playing a very intellectual game of chess. And they've already started. They've moved their queen. They've moved their rook, blah, blah, blah. The Republicans don't even know that they're playing the damn game. As a matter of fact, every time the Democrats make a move, they make a move for the Republicans. They're moving the Republican pieces. Republicans got to get in the game quickly, or else that's why we can be here and bitching and moaning. We're like the irate dad that's sitting behind the plate as his kid's getting thrown out on strikes and yelling. It doesn't do anything. They're just going to kick the dad out of the game.
That's true.
Well, another headline before we get to Tab's take. This is interesting. It could get some topic here, 5-10 minutes maybe before we get in. What's going on with Elon Musk? You brought him up, Eric. Number one, Elon Musk, there's two issues. The first of which, he actually called out George Soros yesterday in that same interview. He says, quote, he wants to erode the very fabric of civilization. Soros hates humanity. So Elon Musk.
True story.
He comes, and it was crazy because he was all of a sudden in the news. So he says that. Then he also says, quote, in the same interview, Eric, that you were referring to, that he ripped people who work from home.
Yes, he did.
And I'm like, wow. He went after saying, quote, it's morally wrong.
I read about that. Yep.
So Elon Musk coming out. And then you also have, which I found this to be interesting. I had no idea. Enes Kanter was the former NBA player who has stuck up for Tibet and some other areas where communist China has just oppressed people like you would not believe. The kind of oppression that Tabitha warns that's coming to America in the future. You see some of it. He quit the NBA because the NBA is literally in the financial bed with China. They are making all kinds of money. Well, Enes came out and said, I'm tired of hearing about Elon Musk being something special, about anybody we should be looking up to. He's like, I don't want to hear about any of this free speech crap ever again. He is literally bowing down to a dictatorship. And what he's referring to is the country of Turkey. Turkey does not allow freedom when it comes to Twitter. Twitter and Elon Musk says that's fine. So Elon Musk allows Turkey to stop any sort of free speech on Twitter throughout the entire country.
That's why people are conflicted by
So
Elon.
that the whole Elon thing again rears its ugly head.
Well, that's why people say you can't put too much stock into him because he's still not one of us. People wanted him to run for all these Republican
and if you work from home,
positions.
You're morally wrong.
Can you?
Well, working from home is a problem, and that is going to eventually, when we talk about what I'm going to discuss, leads into that.
Can you do me a favor? What did you just say about what is the Turkey situation again?
They don't allow freedom of speech.
You're not allowed freedom of speech on Twitter. So you can't use Twitter in Turkey. And Elon Musk, being the owner of Twitter, is allowing that to happen.
But they do. They can access it through a VPN.
Right.
So people in Turkey are still getting Twitter, but not through the government. And it's ridiculous that Elon Musk allows any country to participate. But you know what? If he doesn't, he just hurts the people.
I don't understand.
Jay says that the country of Turkey also put a bounty on Enos as well.
And not only that, but the country of Turkey, let's remember, was the safe haven for ISIS. Whenever the war broke out in Syria, whenever the United States stepped in, when Russia stepped in and started fighting against ISIS, guess what happened? They all fled to Turkey.
You know what? Drew says that Elon's a fraud. Robert says he's a tool.
You guys can think so, but I mean, would you rather the other regime be back in there pulling the levers?
Which regime?
The Twitter regime, the 7,500 people that were doing nothing, that were just basically shooting down.
I'd rather it be now like it is.
Would you rather not know about the Twitter files that talk about how the CIA and FBI were?
I'm glad we have all of that, but look who
guys.
Elon Musk just put in place to run.
He's still a human.
Anybody who was at NBC, they're going to be just.
She's a conservative by trade.
Well, just because she's a conservative doesn't mean they're still not going to.
You don't need a middle of Missouri.
They are banning
you don't need
still.
a middle of Missouri conservative farmer to go and run Twitter. You can have an intellectual.
People are still getting banned on Twitter. Well, still happening.
Okay. I mean, here's the thing about Elon. First of all, I think he's a little autistic, or
he actually is autistic.
Alzheimer's, or
no,
whatever.
He literally is autistic.
Whatever his brain. Okay, that's fine, and that makes people. And I think that there's many geniuses that have littered the planet that have gotten a lot of stuff accomplished. Why is he so important? Because you can tell by the companies that he has built. If someone said, Tabitha, I need you to figure out in 10 years how to build a space agency that takes customers up to space in the next 15 years. Go. You'd be like, you're nuts. He looked at it as like,
he's a genius.
Hold on. He looked at that task and goes, I'm going to put a Tesla into space. But he looked at. Hold on.
But he hired the right people.
He also looked at. Okay. Well, that's even better.
He hired the right people.
Then that's even better.
That's what he said.
Then that speaks to your NBC person running Twitter. Maybe he thinks that's the right person, right?
I hope you're right.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying this guy. He looks at like he's explorative. He looks like he's creative. He looks like he doesn't really give a damn what you think. He's able to go onto Twitter and say this George Soros is a nut job and a complete destructive society member. He's able to say that.
And
we're not.
And he's also the one that wants to put chips in our brain, though. Too.
You know what?
He's a brilliant man. You know what? But his Asperger's is what makes him brilliant.
And I don't want to say anything I don't know.
No, he's given interviews about it, and he says, I'm on the spectrum. I believe he has come forward and said he has Asperger's. I think it's well known that that's what he has.
Okay.
And he's always said, you know what? I'm not the genius. He goes, I'm the idea man, but I hire the right people to put things into place.
Yeah, but Eric, on a lighter note, he's also partly responsible for, coming to you pretty soon, this AI technology.
Okay, but
which is part of Tab's take.
Okay. And I can't wait to hear that because I'm super excited to hear that. But here's the thing. The reason why he's important in our discussions today, because he has proven if there's it's like a Ice Baby. Yo, there's a problem, I'll solve it. That line and that song is what I always think about. If there's and that's kind of how I feel I am. I just don't have any resources to fix stuff. I know how to fix stuff. I just don't have the resources. He has developed resources. He has developed ideas. If you say to Elon, every urban area in this country is on fire, how would you fix it? You would expect him to kind of look down to the left and look back at the camera and go, I think I have a few ideas.
Yeah.
And that's why he's important.
Yeah.
Because he has the resources to make certain things happen.
Yep. Tabitha, you're
the
up.
idea man.
You're up.
Yeah. And speaking of AI, I thought this was absolutely fascinating. There is a woman, she's 23 years old. Her name is Karen Marjorie. She has 1.8 million followers on Snapchat.
Did you say there was a 23-year-old named Karen?
23-year-old named Karen, spelled with a Y, on Snapchat. So 1.8 million followers. So she came up with this bright idea. She does a lot of sexual type content. What she does is talking to men, and she gets paid to talk to men and all these different things. Anyway, so she had the bright idea because she couldn't respond to all of the men that were contacting her. So she came up with the idea that she's going to make an AI version of herself. An AI version of herself. And so she came up with this idea. She made $70,000 in her first week.
What?
$70,000.
What is she telling these guys?
And all what this is
this like an OnlyFans page?
It's similar to an OnlyFans page. Think about that.
No.
$70,000
I'm
in
thinking
1
about
week.
something else.
She is expecting to make $5 million a month. $5 million a month is what's projected for her income.
Okay.
And it blows my mind. I know it was going to blow you guys' mind. And here's what's interesting about this AI is that she created the AI. She calls it the AI girlfriend Karen. So it's basically
a Karen,
programmed.
a Karen.
AI.
Yeah, but Caryn.
AI Karen.
AI Karen.
Spelt different.
And she programmed the AI Karen to have her personality, to talk like she talks and say things like she would say, so that this AI Karen could talk to all of these men that she doesn't have time to talk to. And one of the fascinating statistics that came out of this,
holy crap,
that I thought was amazing, absolutely amazing. Let's think about this. 6 out of every 10 men between the ages of 18 and 29 are single. Pew Research did a survey this year. So these are recent statistics. 63% of men aged 18 to 29 are single. And they polled them, why are you single? And you know what they said? They said they no longer have a reason to leave their home. They no longer have a reason to date because they are relying more on social media for their social interactions. They're relying more on online porn. And they're relying more on conversations with somebody like AI Karen online. They no longer feel the need to go out and meet women to compete for women when they can have all of their needs met without ever leaving the house. And Karen's AI character, in my opinion, states exactly where we are heading, where our future is going. Because think about that, Vic. If you as a man, if you never have to leave your home, you never have to deal with a girlfriend, you never have to put up with all, let's say, the BS of relationships, why wouldn't you pay to have an AI relationship and never have to leave your home?
Okay.
And it's scary to think about, but it's happening. And this proves that it is happening. Think about that. $70,000 in 1 week. $5 million projected in 1 month for men to come online and pay. I think it's $1 a minute to talk to AI Karen. And here's what's more interesting is that AI Karen was not programmed to be romantic or sexual.
Oh my
but
God.
AI
There's so many things
has taken
here.
over and turned into that.
So it's just talking. This isn't some sort of sex site.
Only talking.
Wow.
But is it like sexting talking?
It's turning into that.
Yeah.
Karen says she didn't intend for it to have these sexual conversations, but the AI programmed itself to do so.
As Jeannie said, sharing with
crazy.
Karen.
Porn
Yeah,
is always
rubbing
the
with
leading
Karen.
industry for tech.
Yeah,
if you
it
think
is.
about it, it's the reason why the
I've seen
VCR was
that.
made. It's the reason why a DVD. It's the advancement
Wow.
of entertainment.
Tabitha, that's a great segment. Great. I need a gummy.
Well, and you know
We're gonna
what,
take a quick
Tabitha?
break.
Oh, I'm sorry. Incel. Like Jerry called that person an incel. My son was trying to explain to me what that is, and that's basically what you were saying.
Yes, and Alex, our marketing person, has talked to us a lot about the incel culture. No question about it. But doesn't that blow your mind?
Yeah.
We're all in the wrong business,
Yeah.
aren't we?
Well, we're going to talk with Green Light Dispenser in a second. I need a gummy after all of that.
He
That's
won't
for
bring
sure.
it. It's not allowed, remember?
It is Weed Wednesday. We're going to talk with Charlie Unger from their Chippewa store. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with our Weed Wednesday segment. Green Light Dispensary, the biggest and best dispensary you're going to find in the state of Missouri. Back with more right after this. Share the show. Like, subscribe. This is canceltheshow.com with Projo on the boards, Lizzie Sparks running the chat line, Eric Johnson and Tabitha Hassel. I'm Vic Faust. Back, as Chuck Woolery used to say, what, 2 and 2?
2 and 2.
Yeah, you just stole that. Now you're sued.
I love that dude.
House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during our solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Hey guys, this is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local high school athletes, college athletes, weekend warriors, injured workers, and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com. That's DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
Jonathan, what does make Rockwood so special?
Rockwood, we carbonize it higher than anybody else does. So we're cooking out everything that produces ash, smoke, anything like that. It gives you a lot more control over the temperature, a lot more control over the fire, and it's 100% Missouri product.
All right, where can people get it?
It's at 100-plus locations around St. Louis, any Deerberg, Straub's, meat markets, wine and cheese stores, hardware stores, you name it, we're around St. Louis. Just check the website.
And good charcoal should be able to break apart in your hands like
absolutely,
Rockwood does,
yeah.
right?
If you can't break it apart by hand, it's not charcoal yet. It's still wood. They didn't do the job, so make sure it can break apart by hand.
All right, get your Rockwood charcoal. Let's talk roofs. Voted best roofing pro in all of St. Charles County, RJR and Associates Roofing has been protecting people from the chaotic Missouri weather for over 20 years. Business and homeowners, whether you need to patch a leaky roof or it's just time for a completely new one, RJR has got you covered. Just call our buddy Ron today at 314-852-5074. That's 314-852-5074.
Marco, wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Hey guys, welcome back to cancelthisshow.com. Before we get to Charlie Unger with Green Light, did you just get a call on something?
Yes, it looks like, and I'm going to sound so stupid because I'm sure that half of St. Louis already knows this. Evan Rodriguez, who I don't know who that is, was just appointed the, I guess, the new circuit attorney for the city of St. Louis.
Is it full-time or intern?
I don't have any
is
info.
what I heard.
Okay, intern. We're getting all that right now. Okay, appreciate it. That's big news for the St. Louis area. Also, when it comes to our Weed Wednesday segment, we jump in with Green Light Dispensary today. We jump in with Charlie Unger from the Chippewa location. By the way, Green Light is Missouri's largest dispensary throughout the state. They've got several convenient locations. It's the best selection, the best prices anywhere, and we've been teaching you all about that. So with that, we say good morning to Charlie Unger. Charlie, thanks for kicking things off with us on our Weed Wednesday, my man. How's business?
Never better, honestly. It's still surreal. I'm standing in a room filled to the ceiling with legal weed. It's absolutely crazy.
Legal weed on a Weed Wednesday. Hey, real quick,
Amen.
Explain why Green Light is a place to go, because you guys are massive, but sometimes people don't understand what kind of benefits that brings.
Absolutely. So easiest way to break it down, here with Green Light, we are vertically integrated. So right now, it's making headlines all over. Missouri is outpacing any projection in cannabis sales. So what that means is a lot of these stores, they're looking at empty shelves. They can't get product. We actually have 2 grow facilities, each topping out at over 100,000 square feet. So with that, we got a constant supply of some of the best cannabis you're going to find, ranging from, your combustibles, the stuff you smoke, to edibles, some of our favorite products down here, topicals, pain creams, you name it. We're always going to have that stuff in stock for the great people of St. Louis, and not slowing down anytime soon. Also love our locations. Coming to you now from the corner of Chippewa and Watson, heart of Old Route 66. We've got a spot by the airport, and then 517 South Florissant Road, new spot coming in Rock Hill any day now.
When Anheuser-Busch finally puts Bud Light out of their misery, you can steal that. Bud Light.
Exactly. We're coming for it.
I'm a marketing guy, I'll tell you what.
The green light, Bud Light.
Exactly.
Hey, one thing that I wanted to make sure that we touched on and got to first, you talked about what a passion there is for the marijuana industry now, what a need there is, especially in the Show Me State. What's going on with flower right now and maybe some other alternatives for it if people have to wait, because I'm sure it's a situation that everybody's dealing with in the state.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you are a fan of the product, a consumer, if you look at online menus, you go to that flower section, you're probably going to see a whole lot of nothing. We are pretty fortunate. We haven't hit that plateau, and I don't think we will. Selection's a little bit more impeded than we'd like at the moment, but fear not. Like I said, cartridges, the ability to smoke a really refined kind of profile. If you're looking for something to relax, something to energize you, to focus, you can really dial in your effects with a lot of these other products. But down here, what we really like to focus on is the stuff that really isn't psychoactive. That barrier to entry for cannabis can be people are afraid of being high. Sounds a little crazy, but pain cream, stuff that doesn't break that blood-brain barrier. Pulled a few out right here. A pain cream like this, it's 500 milligrams of THC with an equal ratio of CBD. So you can apply this directly to an area where you're experiencing pain. And Vic, I'll tell you, nothing works better than this. My mom has multiple sclerosis, will probably never touch pot. If she sees it in her entire life, swears by the stuff.
Yeah.
We've got.
How does that help? How does that help her with the multiple sclerosis?
Yeah. So, the biggest, probably most cumbersome side effect for a lot of people with MS is going to be muscle spasticity and just overall pain. And a lot of, just neuro-related, isolated muscle pain. And it works like a charm. She's been through myriad studies over the years, tried, every pharmaceutical thing possible. And this stuff works great. And she's not alone in that testimony. We hear that from countless, now it's probably hundreds of patients that have come through here. It's phenomenal.
It helps in Parkinson's. It helps in Tourette's to stop the tics. There are so many medical uses for people. Like I would never myself want to be high. I've never been high.
Exactly.
It's not something I ever want to do. Eric thinks I'm high every day.
Are you sure?
You walked right into that one.
But for medical purposes, I would absolutely choose a cannabis product over a pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
Well, then never say
all
never.
day long.
Exactly. You always think that people that are around this industry would be like Spicoli from Fast Times, but you use so many 75-cent words. You're a really smart guy.
We try. Hey, with that, I say we're purveyors of wellness. That's our motto down here. We're trying to help people get wellness. We're trying to get from somewhere bad to somewhere better. We're helping.
Our listeners are completely into. They know more about this than.
Well, they're starting to.
We need to open cancel this relationship with you right now, and we could be cancel this pain, cancel this anxiety. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. I love it.
Cancel this Tabitha. Cancel. I mean, all kinds of stuff we get canceled with the relationship.
It's called green light,
and we are going to yes.
Well, and we were,
Projo,
we were at the golf tournament on Monday, and we were talking about you guys quite a lot and passing out information.
Yes.
And
Lizzie handed out about 100 coupons, by the way. And
hey, we appreciate that.
And speaking of the coupon, we show you guys can download this coupon. You can just go to cancelthisshow.com. We have it on your screen. You can just download that coupon. You can take a picture, whatever it takes. You can also go to if you go to cancelthisshow.com, you'll see the website as well. So you can learn about where all the locations are, and you can just download that coupon and take it in with you. That way they can track. They know you came from Cancel This. And of course, they'll teach you everything. Lizzie, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
it's fine.
But people were very receptive to those coupons.
More than I even expected.
Me too.
Way more than I expected.
So many people said, oh my gosh, I use gummies for bad backs.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about that. They had a lot of different reasons, but bad backs is what they were saying. Never even thought about that. And
it's a pain reliever.
And sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that the important thing here with this is, you say the flowers, I guess that it's in short demand or supply right now.
But they've got it a green light.
But the goal for companies like this, which you guys are doing a really good job, not to stroke your feathers or anything, that people are starting to know your name and that you will branch out from here. And I think that it's a win-win for society, for the community, is that not only are you there, but you're able to answer questions, you're able to provide product, you're able to be that logo that people trust and go to when they need this product.
Yes. Yeah. People anticipate coming into a dispensary and, they expect a sterile, a very overly clinical environment that might, sort of conjure these, memories of going into a dentist appointment or seeing your doctor, these judgment-laden environments. You come in here, it's bright, it's open, it's inviting, and we got a team of people that know this stuff inside and out.
Yeah,
they can help you with anything.
Charlie, you're an expert. Does it help
Thanks,
with?
man. I appreciate that.
Does it help with inflammation?
Absolutely. That's one of the most common inquiries we get. It's inflammation, pain, and sleep, especially. And we got a full spectrum of stuff to help.
Nice.
What are some other products right now that you find that are very popular with different age groups? Because I know this is a younger person situation too. It's all ages, but aren't you guys hitting a lot of the older ages too, 40 and above?
Our primary demographic, absolutely. So they're probably going to end up watching this, but my parents, that boomer generation, they're a primary demographic down here. And they are apprehensive to smoke. And it's crazy. A lot of them never smoke, never will, but they have found the wonderful relief they can get from this plant.
That's the Woodstock generation.
Exactly. Yeah, you got some tokers that come through here for sure. Guys that saw the first deadline up and all that.
Let me ask you this question. Yeah, the old guys, they know how to smoke this stuff. But I guess is this the 800-pound gorilla in the room? Yeah, we get it. Has the headache relief and it has the relief for the backache and it. What are some of the recreational benefits of this stuff? Let's just talk about the stuff that maybe people want to get a little bit more crazy on the weekend with. What is that? Do you have a room for just that?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Absolutely. So right here, this is a product we manufacture. We've got a whole lineup of these gummies. Right here, this is going to be a pretty frequent tandem that you'll see. It's equal parts THC and CBG.
Here we go.
CBG is another cannabinoid. Everyone knows CBD, but there's a whole wheel of these different pieces of cannabis. So this one here is basically fine crafted for energy and uplift. So it's a great daytime gummy. It's got a nighttime counterpart with CBN, which is, kind of analogous to melatonin and the effects that it'll have. But if you really want to keep things going, we got stuff for virtually everything. Right now, we got something called the Love Drops. You probably can infer where that goes.
No, I cannot infer.
There you go.
No. I need some. Go ahead.
Time out. We need
baby.
We need clear air right now.
We want to hear it all.
I need quiet.
Here we go.
So
Love Drops on one.
They are. It's crazy how fast we sell these things, but they are basically this awesome like hodgepodge of crazy natural environments. Some people call them like the gas station pills, but all natural stuff, all safe, bridged with CBD. So all these kind of natural aphrodisiacs that you can find throughout the plant world, mixed with a lot of kind of vascular stimulation to improve that blood flow. And then that THC is the most phenomenal sensation amplifier. So
get 20 of those.
This sounds like
there you go.
No,
we got these little trial packs. Come on in. You get 2 pills for $5. See if it works, and then come back and get the whole 10.
Eric just left the studio.
It's replacing the most popular pharmaceuticals, the number one part pharmaceuticals that people buy. My cousin Kathy's on the line.
Can we not say the V word? Is that why nobody's saying it?
What's the V word?
It's the green light Viagra.
Yeah,
it's the green light Viagra.
I think you could say Viagra.
It's one of the most popular pharmaceuticals out there that people are buying. So it's great that there's an alternative. And on the comment line, what do people use for pain? Let's say if you have nerve damage from
She wanted to change the subject real fast.
No, we can go back to
I've had enough of this.
I didn't want to forget about the comment while it was out there.
Okay. Then we'll get back to the love chat.
love.
I mean, my God, you just right past it.
We'll come back.
Go ahead.
With pain, all depends on how you're willing to ingest it. We still believe here, honest to God, consumption of cannabis bud is, nothing short of a miracle. If you're willing to do that, you can really analyze a strain, what it's going to offer you. Don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole with how deep you can take that. But if you're willing to smoke, you come in, express to your bud tender, what you're looking for, how you're looking to feel. There's always going to be something there. But with those pain creams being a great option, and then going back to these gummies, CBD that's been on shelves now, across the country for a long time. As a nation, we've really accepted the benefits of that. But we kind of believe that CBD in its isolated form doesn't have as much value as it could. So there's a sort of a thing called the entourage effect that's being talked a lot in cannabis, which is how you can take THC and bridge it with all these other components, whether it's CBD, melatonin, CBG, caffeine, even all of this different stuff. These like pain specific gummies, we've got like a 10-to-1 ratio, meaning it'll be 10 parts CBD for 1 part THC. So you can really address that pain, get that full relief without, getting too ripped. The gummies, I'm not as much of a smoker as a lot of these guys. So I've really, I've defaulted to the edibles for a long time, to talk about them all day.
Well, we bring you on for our viewers and our listeners, and we will get back to the Love Shack.
I was going to say, get back to the Love Shack.
Tabitha was very uncomfortable.
No, I wasn't. I was just trying to get a comment in while somebody was asking. You guys can talk about
the other thing
fake
that
Viagra
somebody else. No, and it was good that Tabitha asked.
Fake Viagra.
What do you suggest?
Natural Viagra, I should say.
If somebody comes into your store, what would you suggest for somebody who can't sleep right now?
Oh boy, our number one selling product actually is going to be a sleep gummy, and it's a 1-to-1 ratio. It's going to be 100 milligrams of THC with 100 milligrams of CBN. But with this, it also just got a little bit of a triple threat. It will have a few milligrams of melatonin. So with that same entourage effect, those three things work together, and I'll tell you, it's phenomenal how well it works. You don't have any kind of groggy side effects you might get from, some other pharmaceutical sleep aids. But yeah, these gummies are specifically crafted for sleep. We make our own brand with that ratio. There's another product called the Nighttime Gummy. If you walk into any of our dispensary, just say you're looking for help with sleep, that's what they're going to jump to every time.
If someone said, here's $10, here's $20, and you had to go buy something in your store, what right now would you buy?
Ooh, boy, that's tough.
Now you only got $20 and you got 1 minute. Go.
These gummies right here. So with Greenlight, we will always strive to have the most competitive prices you're going to find. The median price for gummies is about $30.
Yeah.
You walk into Greenlight, we got them for 20 every time, including these ratioed ones. We have our core nighttime special, which will be with that CBN and melatonin. That is one of the best, kind of entry-level products you can get. Our Greenlight watermelon gummies are also indica dominant. Indica is the strain, variety of cannabis that is going to be a little bit more sedative. $20 every time for those.
Okay.
That's awesome. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Talking with Charlie Unger from Greenlight Dispensary. You're located at the Chippewa Watson store. You have several states. You're the largest dispensary in the state. You guys got the best prices. Your name is getting well known, and that's what we're trying to find out. Okay. With that being said, so these love drops, it's drops, and what are actually in the drops? What is the ratio?
Here we go.
So they're technically pills. They're the brand, they call themselves Drops. The company's 1906. They're a powerhouse in cannabis. You could, I've heard kind of cannabis tourism is a big thing. Colorado, California, this brand has quite a name for themselves. But yeah, I'll grab one for you real quick. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, we'll come down to get those. We'll be
one of our listeners actually. One of our.
I'm glad you laughed, Lizzie.
One of our listeners actually put 1906 on there. Like, what is that? Our listeners are smart as hell.
Well,
yes, they really are.
Smart, and they're learning.
They're out there doing their own research, just like we are.
No, it's great to understand all of the stuff that they have, and we're learning about it on a weekly basis.
And think of the party we could have.
Oh yeah, so with these,
think of the party we could have with our friends over here at Greenlight and our friends on Facebook, and man, we could just dominate. Why don't we do that? Put that together.
But yeah, you can sample packs just like this. I actually just got 4 pills in it. So still cost you a few bucks, but far superior to anything else you're going to be getting at your standard pharmacy. So the love drops, it's going to be with like some ashwagandha, a few herbs that might sound like I know what I'm talking about. When it comes to like some of that crazier stuff, it's above my head and pay grade. But specifically crafted, years of trials and research to really get this dialed in.
Send a few
and
over.
they've got a spectrum.
We'll pay you. We'll
we got you. I got you, Big. No problem. Genius drops.
That was Eric.
No, it was good.
I'll get you guys sooner or later. But Genius Drops, we got like
Genius
I said,
Drops.
Spectrum.
We even have something for tips.
Yes.
Melinda was already talking about.
People are on the comment line. We're already talking about Genius Drops.
What the hell?
Awesome.
The first thing that comes to my mind, Charlie, is I have a heart arrhythmia. It's very. I can't even drink caffeine without having AFib or something. But I have heard that these products are all safe for people who have heart arrhythmias, and there are so many people like me who do.
Absolutely. I will say, always consult with a doctor before factoring anything like this in. But, cannabis generally is one of the most safe ways to treat any of these, maladies that we've talked about. And it's pretty fantastic because, can't say the same for a lot of the modern pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Just watch a commercial, that whole laundry list of side effects. Really you don't have to worry about those.
Or the energy products, because that's like people like me. I love Red Bull. I can't drink Red Bull anymore.
And you
I can't drink anything with guarana in it and some of these other caffeine. But from what I understand, the products that you guys have, I could use very safely to give me natural energy versus some of these products that would raise my heart rate or cause me arrhythmia problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One of our listeners says, and I'm sure Charlie would agree, then Tabitha, stay away from the Genius Drops because they do have some caffeine in them.
Let's not kill Tabitha over here. But
so small amount. The Go Drops, those are actually going to be kind of an equal ratio, like 5 to 10 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah.
But the corresponding category of cannabis indica is sativa. That's going to be these strains that have been cultivated and bred to be more cerebral and uplifting. We factor that into a lot of our gummies. We've got a product called Live Resin, which is basically pure plant extract, flash frozen strains that have those, inherent uplifting effects. We've made them into gummies. If you don't want to smoke it, we've got it as, cartridges. And that's great. Cause like you said before, people have got this idea of the lazy stoner. That's the last thing we're trying to get out there. So we're here to help.
Kind of fun too. I mean, coming out of that back of that van.
Yeah. And 5 milligrams of caffeine, that's like coffee. I mean, that's not that big of a deal.
Absolutely.
Oh, coffee's 200
And
milligrams.
once again,
That's what
before
I mean,
we let
it's
Charlie
less than
go,
coffee.
we'll pop up that coupon again. We want to let you know you can grab this coupon, just download it, take it into a green light dispensary location.
Yes.
You can go to our website, canceltheshow.com, look at their website that we have for them, or go to Greenlight Dispensary. You can see everything they have, but you get the coupon on our site, download it, take it into one of the stores, ask for some help, ask what they have. Depending upon the store, you may have seen the general manager like Charlie at his store that can help you along. These people are great. They're knowledgeable. They do it not just because it's a job.
That's really pretty.
They do it because they love it. This is a passion. And Tom Bomarito explained all of this from the get-go when we first had Tom in on what the whole mission is with Greenlight.
Tell you what, pot back in my day, if you wanted to go buy something that didn't look like that, it looked like a
Exactly.
it looked like a really smelly
Greenlight's the
living
largest
room.
in the state. They got the best prices. They say, come in, check them out. Wherever you are, the trip will be well worth it for
The trip.
you want to use it.
Pun intended. The trip will be well.
Oh my God.
You know what we should do? we should swarm the place. They should give us the keys to the joint for an hour before they open or after they close. And everybody from Cancel This just meets over there.
We do. And we need to do that
for
live.
a 1 hour after
gummies.
show party.
I'm all for it.
You can send an entire catalog of 1906 over here. We will Projo we'll send Projo over there.
Projo, please go get some for me.
Because we're ready
Can you do that?
we're ready to try this stuff
Eric
out.
and I are going to be we're drinking shots of it.
Yeah.
Tabitha's like,
Tabitha's like, can we get back to the border?
No, you know what? I would be all for it. When we had the golf tournament, we talked about it.
Real quick, Charlie, can people still get, and I know the answer to the question, but I want to ask it, can people still get their traditional joint just like they did it?
Yes.
Absolutely. We got 5 packs of them. We've got a few that we've rolled with filters. Kind of looks like your traditional cigarettes, but you come in here to Greenlight, we will always that's our bread and butter right there. You're just walking through, you're going hiking, going out. You just want to get something quick and easy. You can place an online order for one of we call them pre-rolls generally. You can place an online order. We got a walk-up window here at the south side, drive-throughs up north. You can place an order for that pre-roll, $15, be on your way, having a great time.
Nice.
Love it. Charlie, appreciate the segment. Awesome information.
Thank you. Big fan. Thanks for having me so much.
Oh, big fan. We're fans of yours.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thanks,
taking time to join us. We'll catch up with you next time. We'll be in touch as well. We appreciate it. That, my friends, is Charlie Unger.
And that's how a company like that succeeds. They produce great products, great imagery. I mean, did you see that place?
That was way prettier than you would expect.
I went to a place in Colorado. We went skiing up there, and they had a dispensary there. It was the first time I ever saw a dispensary. It gave you the heebie-jeebies when you walked in it. It was like you saw all the product behind the glass, and it was like they all had their gloves on, and you were like, man, what do I do? I don't even know what to do here. They were unapproachable.
Now they look like a salon.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it
They
really
do
does.
look
It
like a
reminds you
salon.
of going into a salon. It's
Tabitha, yes.
And some of them,
Tabitha, this is the best thing for you.
Yeah.
You do a little sativa.
Here we go.
Gummy, and then you go over and you get your pedicure at the same
Exactly.
Oh, I want to do that.
Wow.
And there are those concepts
And
already.
you're gonna be in
already
heaven.
being thought out.
You'll be like,
Wow.
hey, life is great.
Or what about STL float?
I think everything Eric
that'd
says
be
is
good.
100% right.
What?
It's all good.
I would take a lot of drugs for that. It's probably something much stronger than what Green Light does.
Tabitha, settle down over there.
Oh my god, that's great. You get your manicure, you get your pedicure.
Oh, that would be great.
Your hair did.
Oh,
You
all
get
at
you,
the
you
same
go
time.
float. You go float in the little egg and just kind of lose yourself. Ooh,
Could you
guys.
imagine that day? That would be the best.
We need to cancel
Come on,
this
Tabitha,
float
let's
trip.
do
Is
it.
what we need.
not a float trip.
We
I'm
need to
talking
cancel
about
this
where
float trip with Green Light products.
I'm talking about. You know, with
What are
those
those floaty
Joe's
things,
like, yes.
salon
where you just
things?
float there with. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about a real float down the river.
How about
Oh my God.
how about a root beer float?
Yeah,
That'd be
you're
nice.
back.
Megan asked me on the chat line. We all know Megan, and she wants to know if I'll host a cancel this / green light party by the pool.
I think that's if they would open the doors for us.
Yeah, go to their place.
If we, because they can't come here, obviously. If we said, look, I know you guys close at X o'clock. We're all the people that, when it's a one night only thing, we're coming there. We'll be there 5 minutes after you lock the doors. Let us in. Right, Vic? Let us in. Just let us ask the questions that we want, and then sell us the the samples. Turn your head when Tabitha's over by the 1906 stuff because she'll be taking all that stuff off the shelf.
Well, yeah.
That would be for me. If, there is no question that would be my product if I could choose one.
See, I'm like Elon Musk. I come up with
need
the
more
ideas.
energy.
I just don't have the resources to pull the trigger.
Cha-ching.
I'm exactly like Elon. Me and Elon are in the same boat.
Well,
Well,
maybe
that's a
autistic.
good thing,
Maybe
I
I-
guess.
I had
Come on, that's a
one-
good idea.
I've had 2 pedicures and they were pretty damn amazing.
That's embarrassing. You should have never said.
Oh
that.
no. Dude, I wore makeup for 25 years.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, the pedicures is the toe one, right? You're a man.
Yes, it's a foot.
Yeah, but men
you
should
used to be
get
a man?
those
is
too.
foot.
They should?
Manny is
Oh
hand.
yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
What-
Do
you-
your
you know what?
feet and have a gummy at
Who
the
does
same
your
time.
Your nails don't look too bad.
You see, I do them with my teeth.
Well, that's pretty good, Eric.
Thank you.
A lot of men do it with their teeth. You know you can get worms from that.
Oh my God. What?
I don't know if that's true. My grandma
It is
used to
true.
say that. Is it true?
I'll give you some I word to take care of that.
Okay,
problem.
fantastic. I do it. I do it because when I play bass,
Melinda knows a lot. I'm sorry.
when I play bass, they click on my string, and it drives me nuts. So I'm like, "Grr." I'm like, and I did exactly the same thing that Vic does with the pedicure and the manicure in less than 1 second.
Well, I figured musicians would need manicures, right?
Well, okay. If you're a classical guitarist, they use their thumb as a pick, so they grow them out really long.
Ew.
I've seen that. I used to think it was like for people that went like this with their thing for cocaine. I didn't know it.
That works too. Yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing worse than a man with long nails.
Lizzie,
Sorry.
you're great. You're the stuff.
Well, I mean, you to figure I've been in a closet of a preschool all these years. You
Yeah.
guys are literally opening my world
But
with
you're-
pot and fingernails.
Yeah, but you're a
and-
mom. You're a grandma. You give us all kinds of perspective,
Well, okay then.
like with the thumb,
Like
Open up the
Tabitha.
cocaine.
Tabitha gives us perspective too.
I love this.
The best,
Don't look at me like that. It is
the best
creepy.
perspective.
Perspective.
It's like it looking through the sewer at you when sometimes I'll look over there like,
The
damn, the
sewer.
little red balloon is about to pop
Oh
up.
It could happen, Eric. It could happen.
That balloon's about ready to pop over your head, Eric. in 2
I
seconds.
know.
I
I'm
know.
sorry.
We have not had any green light products yet, but that's
Damn.
we kind of were allowing the show to go where it was
It's
after the egg. That's
We
fine.
never got back to the love potion
Yeah, we did.
with Charlie.
Yeah, I did. I brought it back
Because
up with them.
I'll tell you what, something that if you when you think about the most popular
What do you need to know?
pharmaceuticals
Tabitha,
out
I'll
there,
tell you.
I bet you would.
Could you take some love drops?
I'm going to. Yeah, why
Look
not?
at her
to think about
blush.
it.
Keep the camera on her.
I'm
Do
all
not-
for Vic taking some
If you
love
haven't
drops.
realized it, I try not to take myself too seriously.
Keep the camera on tab.
And then
She's blushing.
they had the other policy. I mean, the other. I don't even know what I'm talking about. The other product,
Mhm.
a policy product that would be like if somebody wants to take Adderall or people that take Molly or whatever. I mean, like they have a little something for everyone, don't they?
Well,
Just
does
a
it
little
work? See,
something
that's the
for
question.
everyone.
And I will be completely honest.
We're gonna give you 30-day trial. We're gonna
Joe.
every day, Eric. We'll have you try a different one.
You can't do that. You got to stick to one. You got to focus. You got to focus. You got to focus on. You got to be honest. In my opinion, you have to ask them. This is the ailment that I'm going for. This is the ailment that I want you to fix. Let's give it a shot. And that if you came back as a cancel this listener or on
make
air
yourself
person,
better.
yes, and you could say, "Holy crap, that stuff worked."
We need to do that,
right? Because I would be singing praises all day long.
Do we do for maybe this Friday for our free for all Friday? Do we try product in the morning this Friday?
Yes, we do. And we go get
Can
it
you
from
do this, Eric?
Greenlight. And then we take it when we first
Tabitha,
get
can you do
here
this
and
Friday?
see how it is. And we call it Gummy Friday.
Yeah. I'm cool with that.
We need to do Gummy
I
Friday.
would
It has to be done.
But that means you would have to take them at 2 hours before the show starts.
so what?
Well, you just take it right before the show. Like
Well,
do
you
the
can't 'cause
pre-show
it
and
takes-
see how you.
It takes 2 hours.
Well, then you could see how it developed.
change.
You would see how it developed.
But the show would be over by the time
Lizzie
it developed.
nailed it. She swung. She came up to the plate and pop, hit it right over the fence.
But the show would be over before the
We'll
effect
talk.
started.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Well, we'll figure it out. But it's Gummy Friday. You heard it right here.
Yeah.
Gummy
Wow.
Friday. Right, Joe? Right, Joe?
But-
Gummy
scared.
Friday. Are you scared, Joe?
No,
I'm
I'm not scared.
scared.
We need a
I'll bring my
table.
Because
cart.
there's some
Hold
of
on.
us in this
I'll bring
room
my
that has
cart.
never done it.
We
I'm
need
scared.
We need a table. It's like when you go to choose your weapon for a duel. You need to basically lay them all out, and you have to say this does this, this does this, and then you take one, bam, and then you see how it affects you throughout.
Well,
that show.
Melinda JL says gummy or pills will take 40 minutes to an hour or so to start.
Oh, perfect.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, and she
That's
seems like
perfect.
an
I've even
expert
heard-
on
yeah,
here
she
because
is.
she's got some really good things she's saying about it.
That's
All right.
perfect.
We got
Somebody's
it.
called it Cheech and Chong Friday.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
No, see, that's the point. Is it's not
Cheech and Chong. It's putting.
We are
gummy-
going to be dispelling the myth on air in front of you. Now, if we're all baked,
Well, that's
and
okay.
you can see it in front of your eyes,
There you go.
and I don't even know if there's any legality behind any of this stuff. I mean, I
Not
guess
on
it's
a
like,
podcast.
I guess if you do it, you ask for forgiveness, right? But I think that that's a great idea. That is like truth in advertising over the top.
Right.
But you would have to be willing to do something like that. I don't know if you would.
No, well, we appreciate you guys joining us. What a great show again today. We appreciate Brad Young. Seems like it was days ago when he joined us at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock to talk about all the craziness. Kim Gardner's gone. That whole chapter's done
It's
now.
done now.
They're moving on. We're done with that. Hopefully better. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. We'll see where that goes. Also, special thanks to Kathy Helbig-Strick, Steve Strick coming in. 314-276-SOLD. Expect to be moved. You can also give Steve a call at New American Funding. And, of course, Charlie Unger with Greenlight Dispensary, the biggest, best, and cheapest products in the state of Missouri when it comes to everything marijuana. All right, there we go. We will have more coming up tomorrow. Love you guys. We'll talk later. Bye-bye.